Same bat channel. Bruno's at the big desk.
Oh, I was just telling Sean a story. Damn it.
I think Brendan's mic was off there.
Yeah, Brendan's mic was off. So yeah, we're gonna have we have Fed minutes coming out here. Not a heck of a lot.
Short.
Like, understand, like a couple of shorts on, but the market typically is not going to react to this right away. Maybe we do, but it's all about the dissemination and then sort of reading what's in there, what isn't in there. We have been trend to the downside. I'm hearing stuff in my ears.
Now
so
I hear Brendo, yeah.
Brendan is probably getting his mic loaded and ready to go. But we are in the downside of a trend, and we did bounce off 15,000 on the NASDAQ, and we're in the bottom end of the channel. Market seems to want to fall to the downside. I was literally in the middle of telling a story to Sean, but market's going down. We'll get to Brendo when we get a chance.
Relax, Sharif. You can't see the position board right now because I haven't taken a fill, but I'm short right now. NVIDIA, you can see right here off of that VWAP again. Shout out to Brian Shannon and everybody trading today. Man, it's been a hell of a good day. We'll talk about this. Look at that fill. That's $8 right there. Get down, NVIDIA. We are now bidding in the 50s to get this fill. Let's see. I was just bidding 438 flat there to take it. We're at the 50-period moving average. A little bit more down. I have no idea what these Fed minutes are all about. So we'll go back over there. I believe mic problems have been fixed. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, the good news here, guys, looks like everything is pretty much as expected. Most participants still see the need for further rate hikes. There's still significant, quote unquote, significant upside risk for inflation, more rate hikes expected. But it was a unanimous decision going back to last month, if you remember, where they raised a quarter point. So again, the gist of it, they're still seeing upside risks for inflation and most likely more hikes to come. But overall, that's exactly pretty much what everyone was expecting.
So we said it was probably going to be a nothing burger. The last time was absolutely nothing. So we're going to get nothing here again today, which means more of the same, which is rolling back over, which the market is tending to do. So let's get into the game here. I have a couple of shorts on that we're holding, but we're starting to flush here. Amazon did not get to 137. I was in this one, did not want to get out. I didn't want to hold the VWAP, but now that you break VWAP underneath 136, this is where I was in the afternoon, and I'll come back to it underneath that 136 level. Am sitting in VFS. If you were watching the midday show, then you probably know what was going on there with that size order at 3050.
Holy shit.
It never broke, so we never got out. But 15,000 is now incoming on the NASDAQ. That breaks, and all you know what is about to break loose. 15,000 was tested and unbroken. But if we get through it, I still like the dollar worth of room that you have here in Amazon. I don't want to chase something at the lows. I only want something off a good level.
Gulp. Wow. We are now $3.50. Sorry, $3 in the money on this NVIDIA short that we gave everybody on the midday show opportunity for that one. We talked about getting short right there at 440.40, and there it is right there. Nice move to the downside. It was just $1 plus in the money there, trying to bounce off this 435. I feel like we could put a bid down there, 435 and change right now. But yeah, nice move to the downside. Let's see what Neil Kashkari's up to. What's up, Brendan?
There was one positive note here, guys. Fed staff saying they no longer see economy entering a mild recession this year, but now see below trend growth for both 24 and 25. I believe that's an addition.
Just quickly here, we just took $1 as well on Alibaba. Yeah, we're still short some of these from the morning. So there's Alibaba right now coming in here. Boom, right back to VWAP again. Take the out. Watch these names go back and forth. The one name that we did have, of course, was AMD to the long. We were talking about this one earlier. Look where we just got out. 108.20. Now dumping back in is AMD. But yeah, $3 right now on the money on this NVIDIA trade. This is my most recent one. And man, did we ever do well on VFS as well on a nice short there at 30.50. Some cover down here at 28 flat. That's $2. But right now trying to bounce back up, get some out if it breaks 30. I'm just watching out for this NVIDIA trade. I still think we can put a bid down here at 435, but I don't know, man. I'm not even sure we want to do that. Let's just see what happens now. We're doing pretty good today, needless to say. So it's back-to-back days that we've sort of changed up, been really patient, waited for things to happen, and there it is, coming back in again. This market wants to go one way today, and it seems southbound, guys.
Yeah, it's really only been a short day today. You had some chances at some longs here. One of the strongest names in the market, I'm not looking short just yet. I probably wanted to get back up to the high if I take a Palantir short. It did make a higher low. It bounced all the way to that 1555 area, same place it broke out from a couple of days ago. If it can't take out the top and this market breaks a low, I think this can be a short off the high of the day. As I mentioned, Amazon is the thing I'll probably look to get back into. I have an offer in front of VWAP there. If we get back into VWAP, respect it. The market wants to challenge that 15,000 level, but you know what? I thought we just broke that. We didn't break 15,000 just now. We actually bounced off 15,000. So if we don't get out to the upside, I still think you're stair-stepping down, which means short the pops. And if you're looking to short the pops, most of everything that I was in came out off of those lows. Intel, I thought we'd get back above VWAP there on the release. I want to be flat, have a wick to the upside to short into. Instead, Intel never got back above 34. It's just completely dying once again. I might need to short this off the 34 level instead. Not sure we're going to get to see that price again. As far as VFS goes, just to show you guys on the chart, at this point, the plan would be there's no reason to believe that size is gone. There was an offer at 30.50. There was an offer at 31. They were both 100,000 shares. The first one got filled for almost half, not quite. Until that breaks, I think the short's still in. Been able to get some out in front of VWAP, which is 28. I have a bid at 27 at that other support. If it were to break that, I think it holds to the downside. So it's break even because I've already got 2/3 of it out. I'll give that stop in a break even on the off chance. My stop has never been away. You have to have a stop on the stock because if it takes out that size, it probably halts to the upside. And you don't want to get trapped. So yes, we're both still in it. But trust me, we're not letting this go past that 30-50 level. If they fill those dudes, this thing could easily squeeze to the upside.
Yeah, that's VFS. We're still in an Apple short, which has been from the morning. So, yeah, you know, as we go, same move. We got stopped out, we got back in, then took all this money back. So we're going to wait to see what Apple does right now as well. Let's look for some newer positions. I mean, I'm in NVIDIA. You guys can see that just to see what else is going down. We were in Alibaba. We talked about that. Oh, the one stock that we can definitely throw a fail on was the long that we tried here on PayPal. I mean, it was fun. Again, it's a fail really because 60 didn't hold and we wound up getting out there, but like we were making a little bit of money until we didn't, and the same thing happened here at 59.50 before it broke. So I keep talking about PayPal longs. It's not that I think this stock is going up. I actually don't. I'm just trying to play it off of, it's kind of like Disney. Oh, no, I can't see. That's okay. Trying to play it off some of these bottoms right there. So I keep on going back into it thinking that, you know, we've solved it, but obviously we haven't. So, you know, that very bottom there is like 59 exactly pretty much. So maybe that's where the long is. We did get down to 59. I mean, not maybe. We got down to 59.30 today, and that held. So it should have been a little more specific in exactly what we were trying to do here with PayPal. So that's a losing stock today for me. And then the other one that we've lost on today, this is a loss, but Coinbase came down here to 79, and we were getting some good ones out. 79.70s was good, but then it broke eventually at the end. So just talking about some longs that didn't work out in the long run for me, but Coinbase is a cup of coffee. PayPal we actually did wind up losing on. We have Alibaba, we've got Apple, and we've got VFS right now, and so all four shorts are on board right here. I am thinking of a long now because this is multiple times, you know, bounced off 15,000 there. I mean, we went down 12 handles there, but then we bounced back 60 or 70, so that's worth it. And then right here, we bounced again off 15,000, came back in, but it doesn't really matter to me because I feel like we have the banger right here with NVIDIA, and as long as this market keeps on doing what I think it's going to do, downside here, I feel like NVIDIA retests. So I actually don't have any bids out right now at all. Probably put one right here. Let's put one at 436. I mean, that's $4 again on NVIDIA. So the amount of times we've been up and down on this stock today has been pretty nice. So let's put a bid here at 436. We'll still hold on, but let's see if it can cash us out a little bit down there. 436 flat. It might not get to it. It's still $2 away. So that's my next idea here. We've already played AMD long off 107. Didn't get down low enough, but we will bid 107 if it does come down there right now. I don't know what anybody else wants to look at, but those are the sort of the four names that I'm focused on right now. So
I just got a fill in US Steel. I actually didn't think it was going to come back down here. Not really. I mean, it's obviously right now following the market. It's just not a name that usually you have to be too worried about. Since the news came out, I got in long off that initial spike, probably got greedy thinking, and then there was no deal terms, right? So I had the long breaking through 3150. I'm like, oh my goodness, like where's the bid going to be? Because the other one was at like 35. There was nothing. It couldn't break 32, and I ended up stopping out. Then things calmed down. It's like, okay, now it's a scalp trade. So I went long around the same area. This time scalping and taking profit out, which makes much more sense. Did not hold it through 32, which failed again. I missed this reload at 3130. That's what Max was talking about. There was a weird buyer down there. It's just coming back into it. So I'm long out in front of that. I will scalp out because if the market flushes, I don't care how strong something is, it's going to follow the rest of the market at some point. Because remember, if there's no deal, then US Steel just moves with everything else, right? So I'm not saying there's no deal, just there is that risk underneath. So I'm in front of support. Amazon, we got that lower high just now, so we jump back into that after the release. First move down, short the curl, and then we're going to get some out in front of the low of the day, guys. So I like Amazon to the south side. It did not hold on to that 137. Obviously, you guys can see that. I am still in Ford from the morning. That one's been pretty simple. Short pre-market, short the double top curl. It just hit the low of the day as well, so ring the register there. The only long I've got that won't be a small cap is probably going to be US Steel. Like if you see me in another long, I feel like it's going to be if something's flying you guys know about, or if you have something which is running and taking out highs, squeeze type name. Everything else is kind of net short, unless we take out 1506 on the NASDAQ back to the upside.
All right, I guess we're back. Sharif is joining us. We'll touch on, we were just going through some of these minutes, and as I was saying, when we came on, nothing really unexpected there. I mean, during the press conference, Fed Chair Powell made a point of saying there was more and more division as to opinions from Fed members as far as what they were going to do, but they still in the end up voting for the quarter-point hike, obviously. Does that mean we do see a pause in September and then one more before the end of the year? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, you and I talked about it in the morning show. There's still about a 33% chance that we get another rate hike by the end of the year. But the Fed minutes make clear the voices for holding and possibly cutting were louder this time around than they have been previously. So, if you're looking for a trend change, this may be, a blip on the radar.
Yeah. I mean, we saw with Frank, going back to the last time we spoke to him, the market already pricing in 2 cuts by mid next year. So the market's still kind of leaning in that direction anyways. Let's touch on a few things that we were discussing. If you were with us in the pre-market this morning, this was one of them. Getting a really, really nice move from target to 138, 139. You go out to the daily chart, you'll probably see why. Ends up being a fade off the pre-market levels. As soon as the market opened this morning, it's been nothing but downside, even with decent report, despite them cutting their forecast.
Yeah, it was a bit of puzzler this morning with respect to why it was up so much, seeing that they had missed revenue. They beat on earnings, though, and that was because they didn't have the big glut of inventory that they had last year. So year over year, they didn't have to make as many discounts, and therefore margins were not affected as much. So good look in that regard, but still, like you mentioned, guidance. Still suspect.
Yeah, and that was stuck out like a sore thumb right away. Worth noting here, market trying to hold that initial low here at 364 for the Qs. This is the dollar, so we did get that 103.4 test that I was discussing if you're with us this morning on the currency segment, that 103.40, 103.50 area on the daily chart for the DXY. Definitely a thing. Here is the S&P, obviously, downside after those minutes, guys. Anything on TGT?
Not really, but what's cool, on your chart there, the coincidence, we got the target logo up, not my chart, on Brendan's screen, is those little, you had like the little target symbols.
Yeah, I saw that.
On that chart, which is pretty cool for the dollar chart, only it was blue. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that was intentional or anything, but that's kind of, it's like an inverse of the target logo.
Brendan didn't put those on there, I don't think.
Oh, those aren't. Oh, yeah, that's just Benzinga. I think it looks pretty cool, but that's about the coolest thing about Target. As I said this morning, and I feel like this is the way to go, wake me up when it gets above 138. Because when you trade something, you want it to get into a new price. If this breaks out that bottom, for whatever reason, maybe this would have been the catalyst. Obviously, it's not today. But if it gets through that, I think there's room to the upside. If it wants to make a breakout, that's a pretty standard consolidation break when it happens. And then sign me up for it. All the best earnings plays and names we don't usually trade have looked a little bit like that, like Caterpillar, When it made a break, it was doing that. Like I think Starbucks had a similar one, but you had to get to a new price area instead of just hanging out in the doldrums. We're going to get Walmart after market tomorrow, and that I think has a much better chance of giving you a breakout trade. I just don't think, after this, the chances of Target breaking out is pretty slim. I did just get some local bottom on Amazon as the NASDAQ, you're probably going to be able to guess this, bounced off 15,000 again. So every time we bounce off 15,000, if you've added a short, not a bad place to take it off because that's just what's happening here. We're bouncing off the 15,000 level in the NASDAQ and then the market moves back up. US Steel, which we just grabbed, is now bouncing off that same VWAP. I should only have fills underneath 40. I don't know why I started this at 41 thinking it's not going to get to that low. You just go long in front of the 31.30. That's where the dude is. That's where the order is, whomever it might be. And that's where support is. So if we get above 50 into the 60s and 70s, I will get out into that lower high. So a bit of a scalp trade here on US Steel. As always, have a stop. And if they actually come out with this third offer and a deal price, who knows? Like this could... Like maybe the third offer is lower and it comes to the downside, or maybe that third offer is really high and it shoots to the upside. Until we know, I'm just scalp trading this. But yeah, Target's pretty much a nothing burger. I don't think Walmart will have the same fate though.
Yeah, I've talked about my sort of look at earnings plays. I mean, Target did give you a play at 128 flat there today. We did get NVIDIA there for $4, 440.50 out. 436.20 bid there filled on that move down. We talked about getting out right at the support. And again, a VWAP trade short right into there, $4 more for NVIDIA as we continue to hold. But we talked about this earlier, man, the Target trade. I knew it was going to be a dud today, despite them beating, didn't look enough at the report, but it did give you those tops. That was early at 7:30, so you don't really worry about those. Then right off the open, I guess you could have shorted 135, but then it didn't really base out like I sort of thought it would, giving you too many reasons to short it. And then I think that maybe you could have just gone long 128 there off that bottom, but then I feel like just data mining this, like there's really no levels. Maybe into here for an hour on the midday, it kind of baselined at 129. So that could have been a trade as well, but I'll pass on Target and just keep doing the same thing that I've been doing, hitting these tech names and then waiting for earnings plays to kind of base out like that. Target just didn't have it today.
VFS starting to break. Yes, I am. VFS breaking to the downside here is what I was saying, as the market overall trying to break back higher here on volume, in fact, on a nice rebound. But VinFast ends up being a nothing burger to the T here today. A little bit choppy out of the gate, but it's been sideways ever since.
You mean it's not worth $85 billion, Brendan?
Apparently it is, because it's still sitting here.
Well, it is 22% down on the day. Sean had a fantastic short off that $30 level, or I believe $30 level. It was very good. It was an ascending wedge where, it made me feel like this one could break to the high side, but yeah, buyers are not there.
Volume dying off here as far as the overall market is concerned. I just saw this, however, Nikola just popping up on volume scanner. Not really doing much, but up on the day anyways. But yeah, VFS, guys, pretty tough if you were looking at it today.
Well, actually, I don't think it was, because when it made this spike into 30.50, you guys were on the midday show. We were able to yell out over to Max to pull up the level 2. I wish I could show you in the book, but I don't think the book's going to be deep enough to be able to see. At 30.50, and that would be right about here, there was a 100,000 share order just sitting there wanting to fill. It wasn't fake. They were getting filled. It got down to 57,700 shares and held. And there was another one at 31. They're just sitting out there in the offer for 100,000 shares each level when the stock had done $2 million on the day. So, I mean, how many times on a name that's this volatile are you ever going to get that kind of risk to reward? Basically just sit in front of it once it was proved to be real, and took some out in front of 30 because I actually thought it was going to break at one point. It did not break out in front of VWAP. I don't think there's much of a trade outside of this, which was very much just look at the tape situation. Like if you had access to a level 2, you could have seen this. If you didn't, then it just looks like there's a seller on the chart. And sometimes when it looks like that, there just is a really big order that they couldn't get through. Brendo.
I just saw a few people mentioning this. Apparently, a few people circulating a note suggesting that Pinterest has a new deal with Amazon, guys. So Pinterest moving on a deal with Amazon just coming up.
Are they buying them? No, I'm joking. It's a deal. It's not that they're getting bought. It's just that the last time Pinterest had a potential deal to be bought, it was a really, really good selling opportunity for everybody that had Pinterest shares. I may or may not have been one of those people. So pins up. Okay, it's at that 26. This is, I don't know, this feels like the same issue with, we were just talking about Target. It's now getting right into a level. It gets more interesting if it breaks 26.25. My daily's not really loading, but trust me, Pinterest has not really been moving a heck of a lot. And if it can't even get out of the first part of the channel here, I don't know if there's going to be any kind of an explosive move. $30 is a big resistance. I want to say it was like 27.5, but as I said, my daily not really cooperating with me. U.S. Steel, just one more update for you guys. It is now punching through 631.60. So it does manage to get through the first couple of humps on the way to 31.70, which is a double top. So want to get another leg out here if we can, as long as it presses off the up. At some point, it might stop holding this level, and if it does, I'll just get right out.
All right, we'll try Pinterest a little bit here. Oops, I don't know why it says .nq, it's .ny. We're long right now. I just punched long at 13s. We'll see where it goes now. Pinterest, hopefully to the moon. We'll get it out if it comes back in below 26 bucks. So we'll try it, a little bit of momentum. Hopefully Brendan's early on the news, and we'll see where it goes. Obviously, it's happened down here, but we'll see if it continues its climb a little bit higher. All right, we're reloaded. We just got some more NVIDIA right now. Maybe this market is about to turn around very, very quickly here. So let's just assess everything and make sure that this is what we want to be in at this time for the market as we continue to go around. Because we're on VinFast, I was going to talk a little bit about Tesla, but right now my mind is going to be on this Pinterest because this is a new trade. We can get a little bit out here. There it goes right through 23s. So we'll take a piece out there. Now we'll go up 26, 27s, making some, I mean, different stock, same shovel, baby. Nice move back up to the upside as, yeah, we're on one again here today. So nice move back up, now 15 cents in the money and continuing to go there. Pinterest continues to work. So we'll put some outs, in the 50s, and then we'll look to see, well, something in the 30s, something in the 40s, something in the 50s, just to leg this out. I don't know what this news is exactly. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. So we're going to wait to see we know it's something to do with Amazon. I don't know if we know the context yet, but here it is. It's a move to the upside for Pinterest. So we just took out 30% there. 20, 25, 30, 35. That's it. We'll see what's happening. But the reloaded position right now is on NVIDIA. We just got a decent spot in there. Where did we short? We shorted right here at, Money. I can't even hit the buttons fast enough around here. There it is right there for NVIDIA. So just a quick take. Like we just taught 441s there. We got out at 440.30 there. So that was a quick one. That was only 50 cents. Just came in, got out right away because we had just got to fill as we were focused on Pinterest, which is going now. Thank you, Brendo. There it is for Brendan. So he brings the good news, and then we fire off the hot dogs again. So there it is right there. It's a nice little trade for us on Pinterest, man. Let's keep on climbing higher for pins here on news that I have no idea what it is. So we'll see. Nice move to the upside. I just see Piper Sandler reiterates an overweight on Pinterest right now on Amazon product ads. So something's going on there with Pinterest and Amazon. Thanks, Brendo.
Ad deal, I guess.
Ad deal, I guess, yeah. So probably just anything that's posted on Pinterest, maybe you can link it to Amazon. That would be cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And then the people would get a referral credit or something like that. So, okay, we'll see. I'm not going to analyze the deal that I don't know about, but that could be pretty cool for that. Hey, man, I love trading. And I love that you guys are here. So please hit the like, the subscribe, and everything else. And I think you'll be happy with the content that we are providing.
Heavy volume. Wow. So both BuzzFeed, apparently, which I thought was bankrupt, but apparently not. BuzzFeed and Pinterest going to show Amazon ads on their platforms. That's the note I see. Anyways, heavy volume here at the highs for Pinterest. So BuzzFeed a penny stock at this point. Not really doing much. Here is CAVA. We were discussing that this morning as well, coming off better than expected report. This got flushed right out of the gate, has done nothing since, even with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different positive notes here as well on top of an earnings beat.
Yeah, you said it. Piper Sandler maintains overweight, raising the price target for the look here to 52. Also, I read an article. The street thinks that this has wide appeal, and they're looking for growth. So interesting look here after the IPO.
It wasn't much to do, however, if you were looking long. Anyways, guys, for Kava.
Sometimes it's just good when a trade doesn't. Look, I was looking for a place to dip buy it, but when it doesn't provide you with one, it just makes it easy to not trade it. So it would have been, if I had seen buyers step up at 47, like trust me, like you can see some green in there, but there was no real buying. And like there was no buyers that still showed up size, like the spread still stunk. Like you never saw any signs of buying until maybe now with the market breaking back out. Thought 48 was a big level, and there was just nothing there in terms of support on the daily. So this maybe it's just in that swing category, and you're not really day trading it because the liquidity is just so poor. And if that's what it is, then fine. If you're into that sort of a thing, like the chart looks a lot better when it's above 48. It was a bit of a nothing burger, but there's lots of other things to trade. I do want to get to Palantir did break that high. I was long into it when the market was bouncing off the lows. So the key for me this morning was Intel was a good short because as the market was making highs, Intel was making lower highs. Palantir, as the market was making lows, was making a higher low. So Palantir rejects 15.10, rejects 15.20. When the market was at the bottom, it was rejecting 15.25. So go long 15.30. Not rocket science. It got to VWAP, got some out the high of the day. Should have gone long in front of VWAP, but you got to move on to the next. It broke out that top. So just like the afternoon a couple of days ago, that top break right around 15.55. This time it's 15.60. Show you in the 15-minute chart. We had the long when it did it last time, and it got to 75, was looking for more. You're going to do the same thing in here today off that same level. And the other long that we have, maybe it cares what the market does. I have no idea. But U.S. Steel just got to that 70 mark, so you dip by right into 31.30, started at 41, added in front of 30, and it just got into 31.70. So rinse and repeat this. I don't think it's going to do exactly the same thing a third time. That's not usually how the market works. But if it gets back down, I will try that bid again on U.S. Steel. Ford's not really doing anything, so I don't really have to worry about that. TTOO's holding 50 cents. That's back at 50 again?
Already?
Really? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, never mind. I was thinking, I thought it was like above, kind of coming back down. No, but it was under 50 for most of the afternoon and is now just getting back above it. That's not bad. Maybe there's a long in there. This was a great short. Obviously, you can see a technical breakdown at the open, then kind of short the pop underneath at 55. I think I'd be done with shorting it if it's going to hold the 50-cent mark, though. So, yeah, there might be something there on TTOO. The volume is still good at 300 million, but you know what? I'm going to show you this on the level, too, because we were just talking about big orders and weird order flow. Okay, where is this? Let me see if I can find this for you. Yeah, so, yeah, really? Somebody wants to buy exactly 152,400 shares on 3 different gateways, the exact same lot at multiple prices. I'm not saying that's a fake order, but it doesn't look like it's that legitimate. So there might be some you-know-whatery going on in TTO. Just keep an eye out for that. Like, it's exactly the same lot for 3. Like, if one starts getting filled and he holds it and they don't pull the other 2, then I think it's a little bit more legitimate. So once again, just like Target, when it comes to Kava, there's no trade, but we're going to get to something that is actually moving. I think TTO can be good. I'd just be very cautious with those bids. And I think U.S. Steel is a much more interesting stock than Kava right now.
Okay, so NVIDIA came out, it broke through 441. I'm not going to talk about it. We just saw that happen. We can talk about it if you want, but it did break it. So there it goes right there to the upside. We talked about going short. It broke it. It's gone. We don't need to short it anymore. We'll be done that one. But I did, first of all, Pinterest. We just got out there at the top of the day, so let's go Brendo again right there because there's a nice, let's go Pinterest, man. This was, I hope a lot of you have this. I mean, this was a pretty easy one on that $26 break there, so we just punched in and grabbed it. I'm hoping it can hold out. Whatever, it doesn't matter, it's already done. We've already made the money on that. Hopefully we can just make a little bit more. The next trade that I was looking for was going to be Apple, possibly for another short here. As we're just getting, look, it's been a nice move back. We're just getting the market to VWAP though, so I wouldn't mind shorting it, which is why we shorted NVIDIA again, which is now back below 441. I don't want to dance with this anymore, though. I mean, we've danced with this devil a couple times and been able to. It's the #1 stock here today, so no worries. But yeah, I don't want to necessarily get too caught up in NVIDIA now and give everything back when we knew what was good and what our plan of action was. VFS, we are still bidding 28 and change in case that does come through. So yeah, let's go back over to the board here as I'm getting ready to get hopefully a few more shares on Apple.
All right, let's touch on Tesla here. Hey, it tried this morning to the upside, but here we are. Basically right back to where we were in the pre-market. Bounced nicely, though, off of that. 228, back above 229. If you missed it, I mean, there wasn't a heck of a lot. More price cuts coming through in China today to the tune of $9,600. You just found an interesting note about the state of Tesla, which I think will eventually trickle out to others. Did I just say the state of Tesla?
It's okay.
The state of Texas, where conveniently Elon and Tesla are located.
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially here, Texas approves a plan to mandate Tesla tech for EV chargers despite opposition. Essentially what they're saying is anybody who wants access to the $5 billion that Texas got from the federal government with respect to R&D is going to actually have to incorporate Tesla's EV charging plug.
Yeah, this is going to end up being everywhere sooner than I think everyone thinks. Here we are trying to break back to the upside, guys, for Tesla.
Or you meant exactly what you said, Brendan. And the state of Tesla, because Tesla's going to take over the state of Texas and then the world, sometimes you make a Freudian slip. Like, it's the kind of thing you just roll with it. And then if 25 years down the line, like, it ends up being somewhat true, then you just be like, remember when I was talking about the state of Tesla, and you sell a bunch of books. I mean, at that point, you retire early, you're laughing, you're an oracle. You just have a little bit of fun there. I actually didn't trade Tesla today, but I thought it was going, I was pretty convinced at some point we're going to get that 220 level in here today. It never broke that bottom. I suppose there's still a chance because as the market gets near the top of the range and is trying to break some of it out, like Tesla is still kind of struggling underneath 229.5 here. I can go to the 15, so the 3-minute chart, underneath VWAP, underneath 230. So if we were to get back to the lows, Tesla would be under threat of breaking that bottom. So I don't, unless it gets above 230, I don't know if it's joining this long party just yet because we just got above that level on the NASDAQ. That's why I took the breakout long on Palantir. X didn't matter. I would have gone long if the market was tanking in that. It didn't make a difference, but you just broke back out here underneath that resistance level. It was support into resistance on the NASDAQ, and Tesla doesn't want VWAP. So unfortunately, it's not following the rest of the market. Speaking of Palantir just filled at 70s. I want to get some out in front of 80 because the last time we did this, or the last time the stock did this, it rejected at 1585. When we had the long off this level last time, it got to 1575, 76, and then stalled out. So have gone back into the long that I liked, and it is working, but we can get right back underneath that same level on the futures pretty darn quick, and then wick it. If we do, it's Intel I like, now back under 34.
All right, so yeah, because we're talking about Tesla here, I found this little video here and tweeted it out. Here are back-to-back trucks loaded up with Cybertrucks. So we'll see here as they're getting shipped out, Cybertrucks on their way to Sharif's driveway. There it is. Look at all these Cybertrucks ready to go. There's a couple flatbeds lined up right there, ready to go. So go put it. I put it in the chat. Bears vs. Bulls can grab that. Go tell me what you guys think. People said, oh, that looks tough. Yeah, you're right about that. I wonder how many people would be breaking the windows. Right. Yeah, that's a good point there as well. This is not good. I thought they'd get their funds together. I don't know what that means, but shout out to Spencer. We'll go ahead and like this and comment on some of this right now. So we'll get ready to go there. I don't know where the semis the trucks, what they're going to mean for Tesla. I just think it's obviously another revenue source, but right here, 227. And I don't know what the margins are on the trucks or not, so maybe it's not like a great thing for Tesla, but I'm excited for it. I think there's something else to come there. We'll see.
Better than the
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out what it means. But right there, 226.50 or so, the bottom for Tesla. There's been some great bottoms here today in the market. Tesla actually only down 1.61. It's not down. It's down less now than obviously it was at open. So we've made a nice move back up, then got faded with this market. I still think Tesla's along somewhere. I'm looking to buy some of this name as this market tries to reward those who are patient. But for today, I'm going to leave Tesla alone. And maybe a break of 230 here on VWAP could get us going again. Another key level break on TSLA. So yes, I like this stock, and I also think that for me, it's not about the Cybertruck. I know I've been talking about wanting to get long on this name. It's more just I think there could be a lesser model coming through, and I think they could just figure that out with a Model 2 or something like that. A little hatchback, I think, spurns more sales. I am actually nervous about all this charging station stuff because legacy Tesla holders or owners are not going to be happy because all of a sudden the lineups, I assume, at these charging stations, unless they really start to ramp them up, I could assume that it's going to get out of hand right now. We talked about this yesterday on the 4 o'clock show. There's over like 6 or 7 now companies, or more than that, 8 or 9 companies that have enlisted with these charging docks. So I really feel that if I was a Tesla holder, now that I have to wait minutes more, I don't know how long I'd have to wait, but to get pumped up there, to get energized, I don't know if that would be something that I'd be happy about. So I could see why people would be a little upset.
But you won't leave. I think I agree they'll be upset. I just feel like, where are they going to go? If you're happy with your Tesla, it's like, what are the other options, right? Like, that's part of what their strength is. Like, people on the iPhone, well, we don't like what you did with the button. Okay. So Apple's like, well, we're doing it anyways. And then eventually maybe they'll change it for you. But it's like no one's leaving over that. And maybe I'm wrong about that for Apple. I'm just using that as an example. I just don't think they have anywhere to go. And I think it'll be fine. Right. We've both been to Europe recently, and everybody there uses smaller vehicles. And I think that's the next shoe to drop for Tesla. It would make a ton of sense. I kind of said under my breath, you might have heard it, that I can't see any way the margins are better. I don't know if the margins are better or worse for the Cybertruck. I just don't think it's a new product. I would imagine that the margins cannot be anywhere near as good as they are for the X and Y, but that's a guess. Speaking of X, it is back at that high. I will not let this get back into VWAP. If it gets back underneath 3170, I trail the stop. Otherwise, let's give it a chance to break the high of the day. If it breaks the high of the day, fair enough. I would not short this stock with 3 potential bidders on it unless it got to something crazy near that 35, which is the only firm offer that's of cash that we know of. So I don't have a short trade that on U.S. Steel. I'm not saying it's unshortable or you can never short it. I just would not be looking to short a top like this. Given the fact that there's now 3 parties that might be interested in buying the company. I did jump into Intel on that. There was 1 wick underneath support on the NASDAQ. It did not last very long, we're right back above 1506. But and when that happened, there was this wick to 1305 on Intel and then back underneath 34. So on that, I did hit the short. I'm going to get out if it breaks VWAP because if we're still above that. We can always get back into this. But if the NASDAQ decides to hold above 1506 and go green, I don't want this exploding through VWAP. So we're in that short. We'll give it to 1305. I'm bidding, so 1405. I am bidding 1385 here if we can grab it. The other one to the long side, Palantir still holding, but starting to curl back in. You know what, let me cancel. I don't want to just be sitting on the bid on a pullback. Like while it was giving the initial pullback, I wanted to grab more. But now that it's made another leg up, I'm not just going to sit on the bid if it comes back into 60. If it gets down there, I'll make a judgment call because the market's still looking strong. Then we add back at that price. The market's looking weak, under 1506 and trending down. Then I will not dip by this at the breakout price of Palantir. Just going to hold out for that push to 80 and play it by ear, see how it goes. Ford, there's not much to say. It didn't really move all that much off the bottom, so not much there. And if you're still watching VFS, like it's holding for us here. There's not a heck of a lot going on. It's barcoding on VWAP. If VWAP goes to the downside, I think we're golden. Oh, and I meant to talk about this. That move that I was looking for in Mullen to go into the what happened. We're showing the last couple of minutes when it went to $1 to close above $1. It's already happened. The story is they've got to close above $1. So even if there is a push, there's not much that you can capture here. So unless it falls into VWAP, which if it does, I'd look for that buyer to step right back up again at VWAP and then try to join for the move to $1. But that could be a missed opportunity. I guess if you had just done it at lunchtime. I was looking for it at 3:30. It happened at lunch. Is what it is.
Let's talk some coin to wrap things up here. Back to the upside right now with the overall market, but was significantly higher here in the pre-market. If you missed it early on this morning, the what's it called again? National Futures Association, NFA, giving them approval to launch crypto futures trading.
Yeah, it's a good look for them. They've been really fighting for their existence with the SEC. Brian Armstrong taking that matter to court. They are basically telling the SEC, we are going to let these other cryptocurrencies trade on our platform despite your characterization of them as securities. So we'll see how that ends up going.
I was just noting Bitcoin. Yeah, it wasn't much of a move on that on the minutes release, but I did see a few people mentioning we're actually back to the upside right now for Bitcoin itself, guys.
I just wanted to update before we did that. I just want to update the position here on Apple because we talked about it just before we threw it back there a couple minutes ago that we were getting shorter on Apple. So here we are. I mean, now we're short 178.25 to give another one down to 178. So we just got some out at 178.01, some out at 08s, and then some out at 12s there. So, trying to make a little bit of cash here. If it gets down to 177.80, I feel like that's going to be a good play for us on that. And we did, I said we wouldn't do it, but we re-shorted a little light here on NVIDIA up here at 440. What am I short at? 441.15. So it's 50 cents in the money or so what it was down there right at VWAP. So I'm just hoping now that I'm in a little bit early on a VWAP break back down to 440, see if we can put a bid there and take back a little bit of what we lost on that last take there when we went up and down there through 441. So, all right, so that's what we're going to do right now. Put a bid down near, well, here comes right in, not right now. Let's put a bid down here near 440 flat and see if we can't get anything. We were waiting for a little bit more, but here it comes back in. Hey, it's another one. It's 70 cents now in the money on NVIDIA to the downside. All right, and Apple's also breaking. So what are we talking about? Coin. Yeah, Coinbase is a small loss today for us. And now it's, of course, right back to 80 bucks. We wanted that 79. This is a name that's on here right now on the sticky note. Go find it. It's at Trader TV Sean. It says coin. 79, impossible to see, but you can go get that on the sticky. Oh, yeah. There it is. It's another member. NVIDIA just tanked for us, guys. We reloaded that one. Nice move to the downside for NVIDIA. Let's go, baby. Let's break it even more for us right now on that play. But yeah, thanks for all the comments on those Cybertrucks. That's pretty interesting. All right, so just talking about, again, where is it? Because you guys can't see it. Man, I tweeted a lot today. Oh, this is pretty cool. Shout out to Dan Emmons here. He talked about this was peak America. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's definitely peak video games. There it is right there. Tecmo Super Bowl. Oh, I realized I spelled it wrong. Tecmo, I spelled it there. But it's Tecmo Super Bowl. That was one of my favorites right there. You could be John
I probably
Elway
spelled that wrong a million times.
Yeah,
too.
I thought it was, but there it is right there. Punch Out. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Look at that young guy right there. Great game. And then Duck Hunt and everybody. So go find that out. But anyways, here it is on the sticky note. It's coin 79 long. So, it's right until it's wrong. And that's the whole point. Wow. NVIDIA. Let's go. Huge $2 already in the money on NVIDIA. We didn't lose on NVIDIA, did we? All right, so that's a nice move there. But anyways, what we're talking about with Coinbase is, should have still held it, but I wasn't going to hold this $1, not when our level breaks. So not really lesson learned. It just came back up. Coinbase has not done what I thought it would do today. We were even looking at higher levels this morning. I thought with that news of the, wow, NVIDIA. I thought that news about not the SEC, the futures. Well,
the NFA.
NFA,
it's the National
Futures Association.
Look, none of us, when this story came out, the response across the board, we've all been trading a long time. Like, you're over 20 years. My 20-year anniversary is this year. Brennan over a decade. And Sharif has a lot of experience. None of us had ever heard of the NFA before. Not until today. I'm just being dead honest. So
Sharif's just talking. He's just like, well, the NFA has done this. I was like, what?
I'm like, huh?
But the thing is, he reads, like you said. So
yeah, actually, Sharif, he does a great job
reads the notes.
reading the notes. I was just like, what the heck is this thing?
Thank you, Cootie Love.
Yeah, it is what it is. Look, I actually had a long Coinbase as well, and I thought it had a chance to squeeze today. I had two structured ideas. You can check it out. We had them in the notes this morning, but we had one trade on it. And in the pre-market, it was all over the place, but it was breaking through yesterday's local top and with a stop out at the local bottom, the pre-market low. So when it held the pre-market low and broke back above 82, I'm like, I'm long from here to there, and I'm looking for a push through the high of the day. So if that was, it never happened. It just broke my stop. I'm out. Didn't really force it. There was nothing to force. I mean, it just only went down at that point. So, you know, didn't reverse the trade, didn't do anything with it. You take the hit, manage your risk to reward so that you're fine. And if you take that hit, it doesn't ruin the day. That's how you want it to happen. Of course, it can go the other direction. Trust me. You know, it's easy to have one thing ruin your day, but you don't want that to happen. We just jumped back into, we mentioned Intel. It just got that 34 down into 33.85 here. Next bids are going to be in the 75 range. If it gets to low today, great. I don't know if that happens without the market getting back to 15,000. And we just bounced off 1504. So if the NASDAQ doesn't go, I'm just going to keep pulling this chart over instead of moving away. If we don't actually get down to the bottoms, you get these more shallow moves in, and you could still be taking out the top. So if we put in higher lows and break back out, understand that it's 2:45. We have an hour left in the day. Not every single move has to go all the way top to bottom, so you want to respect what the market is telling you. Palantir is respecting the bid so far, so on that pullback, I pulled my bid. I wanted to see what happened if it got down there, how it would look, and instead it just wicks the bottom. No chance for me to get in unless I had left my bid there. So I thought with the market back underneath that level, I didn't just want to be sitting on a bid because the market would look like a short. Palantir bounces anyways. But that's what you have to do. Like, you have to understand, if it blows through my order and gets down into VWAP, then all you did is buy at the point of market weakness. So sometimes that looks good, sometimes it looks bad. I thought it was the right call not to take any more on that bid. And EBET, Matt is asking, I've seen a couple of times people asking for EBET. So I have no issues trading penny stocks. Like, a move is a move. It's up 150%. It's gonna, and the reason that makes this actually tradable is it's gonna do 1 billion shares worth of volume. So we talked about this with TTOO. When that hit 200 million, that's been very tradable when it hits 200 million. So this being a 10-cent stock doing 1 billion shares, that's actually quite good. I don't really, actually, I don't know the story here, so I'm not going to pretend that I was, following along what's going on with the story. I'd have to check it out myself. I can tell you that when you have a local breakout from like 5 cents, which is what it is, a lot of times it's just very psychological. 10 cents becomes a pretty big inflection point, and what just happened? It just wicked 11, broke back through 10, and then started to plunge. So that 10 level gives it up, and then you're already heading to the downside. Now, it's not halting because we talked about it this morning. The halt bands are different for penny stocks. It's like 15 cents or 75%. So, like, look at how quickly that will move in. But if you just wait for key levels, consolidations, and you can get in and out with manageable risk, it's just not really doing that. Like, just flush through the bottom, let it consolidate somewhere, and then you can maybe work something. But EBET, big volume. I don't know the story here. I was about to check myself, but
Brendan will have it. But the thing is, before we go back over to trade ideas here, I just want to say, what was the record for most shares done?
It was 2 point.
Was it 2 or was it 1.3?
No, something. It was Mullen lost to.
I think it was Nokia.
Yeah, you said it that day, but it was.
Frankel's had it for us.
I thought it was over 2 billion.
Was it 2 billion? Anyways, I was just saying, we just crossed just right now on EBET, which is, by the way, Tank City right now, still going to the downside. We just crossed 1 billion on those shares. So not a milli. Shout out to Lil Wayne right now. $2 in the money on NVIDIA as that continues to go. Oh, this is what I meant to say. Yeah, I was so like, wow, with NVIDIA that I forgot to put bids. Like, stupid me, honestly. They're on Apple. So now that it's coming back in, we'll put some more bids here on Apple as this name is cranking lower. I'm actually making more money on Apple than I am on NVIDIA, but, whatever. We're making money, which is all that really does matter here in the long run. Now it's almost 350 in the money as, these NASDAQ names can go into the gates of hell here until the close because we are net short everything right now besides Pinterest, but it's been a good day. Wow, we just got filled on something else right there. Apple down to 78 right now. Yes, sir. We did it, Brendan. We did it.
Yeah, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by everyone you see on the show. See what's moving in the moment. Check out the QR code, bottom right corner of the screen, guys. Take advantage of this if you haven't. Great deal, 20% off. TraderTV20. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
Fabian and Ramin are giggling like school kids over there because they know exactly. Like, when you say throw it to Brendan and then it's recorded Brendan, I say throw it to fake Brendan and then it's real Brendan.
That was recorded?
What?
Neil, slow down, Neil. Slow down.
We keep it real around here.
Ooh,
We're not going to try to fake you guys out.
I have news about Dwayne Wade. Still alive. I shouldn't be like that.
He's out of the league. You made me think.
Yeah, I know. That's why. That's why I was like,
that.
launches a new cannabis product. Come on, man. I mean, this is the thing. We've had many people on here with new cannabis products. We had that one guy that was on here saying that he had Jay-Z all lined up, this and that. So I'm going to wait to see what the story is on that one. But shout out to D Wade. As right now, Apple continues, man. We are now $3 in the money on NVIDIA. Apple continues to go to the downside. We're $1 in the money on Alibaba as well. VFS can really not do anything, it seems like, today. Yesterday was a wild, wild west on VFS. Today, not much happening. We will have Michael Noss live again today at 4:15 on the after show. He wants to talk a little bit about steel. What the hell did we just get filled on? He wants, Apple. Woo, yeah, 70 cents now. He wants to talk about some steel and or the US dollars. So let me know in the chat, maybe tweet at me or something, which topic you would prefer. I think steel is pretty important there. You're in X now with another bid there.
Yeah, people care now because of the deal. It's like,
let me tell Michael Noss we'll do that. We'll talk about some steel names. I'm still in Nucor as well, hoping that can catch a bid as well. But I still wonder about that U.S. Steel X.
Consolidation's
feel
all
like
good.
There's something fishy there.
It is pretty funny. Like the timing of it, like you don't hear anything about a U.S. Steel in a deal until after Elon's going to want that ticker when he goes back public with it. So if a deal happens, you know how it works. If somebody buys them, that's going to go away, and Elon has to go public because I'm pretty sure that's going to get snatched up by somebody. That's way too cool of a symbol to last forever. Again, I don't know if there's going to be, we have not, this third bid that everyone's talking about, just because we're on topic. It's a ArcelorMittal, which is I forget which European country now that I think about it. It doesn't really matter.
I think they're French.
Are they French? I'm not sure. The crazy thing is we've traded Europe before. I've probably traded that name, and I'm not even sure what country they're from. But they have not submitted a formal bid. They're just talking about it. So that big spike that you had, I have to use my 15 because you saw my minute chart just kind of screwed up there. But yeah, they got it. It was a big bid. A big bid forming and a big breakout on the fact that there was just a third party talking about an interest in the deal. They have a $35 cash offer. There's a cash and stock offer from CLF Cliff. And now you're waiting for the next shoe to drop, which could be an official announcement. Either somebody raises a bid, somebody says we're no longer bidding. Like CLF could be like, we're not interested in getting into a bidding war, and they could pull their bid, and then that could cause the stock to fall, or you could get another firm bid higher, and the stock shoots up. We're just playing the range here. I got carried away with the long try to hold it for the dream, and then started scalping it because if there's no firm offer, you should just take the profit in front of you. Intel's still coming down, but it's Palantir we'll have to watch because it's back to break even, and I do not want that one going into the red. So I'm about to get the next bid on Intel, but it's more about when you have the long for that potential breakout, it goes, you take some profit. If it can't hold on underneath, just going to get out. It's bouncing again off this level, but the reason I don't, you know what? If it's going to hold a higher low and the futures bounce off 15,000, if it gives me that trade, then I'll add here back again at 6. But I don't want this breaking 15,000 and I'm trying to go long something. If the market takes out that level, everything's going to fall. Like no way Palantir holds up if we don't hold 15,000 on the NASDAQ. I'd be very surprised if that were the case. So let's back off on reloading while the market's trying to take lows. And we joked about it, and now all of a sudden VFS wants to go back to the upside.
I was just noticing that too.
Well, the only thing I'm curious about is when it gets closer, is the guy still there? And let me go to my, I got to go shoot guys level 2 because I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure it was 30.50. Yeah, the offer is still there at 31, but the 30.50 that we were short in front of is actually not there anymore. So that will cause me to adjust my stop. Like, there's no point having a 30.50 stop if that order is not sitting there anymore. So I probably just trail this out. Like 30 is better than break even on it. So I don't know if I let it get all the way to that top. Yeah, it would have been nice if that order was still there, then you just leave it right to 30.50. But I'm not going to do it if that guy's gone.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm still waiting for that to get punched out. If we did take 30, I was going to punch out as well a little bit on VFS there. But we're almost out of, well, we're not almost out. We have about 30-ish% left on that. Okay, so Yeah, man. We'll be talking about, I'm going to have a new segment on the 4 o'clock show, and that is just trade review. And I mean, this reload there in Apple was pretty nice down to the downside right now, looking to get some bids at. We just touched down at 53. My bid is at 52, and I'm not changing it. Like, honestly, it was at 52. Came into 53 and didn't fill. So sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. So we're going to sit there until we do this time. Normally I up the bid a little bit. Just to let you guys know, every single one of these is 10%. I didn't have that much faith in this market coming back down. I was a little bit surprised here, and I see what Dan Emmons was saying, that we're now below. But you know, this move up here in the futures on that release of the minutes, thought it might have meant something, but all it really did was get us back to VWAP before coming back in again. So I was a little nervous that we've come back into 15,000 again right now. So that's why we're starting to cover some of this. I'm even at the corner of my eye, I'm trying not to look at it, but like NVIDIA is still $2 in the money. And it's just, I don't want to get out. And I just want to hold this for, it was all a dream. I mean, I still do read Word Up magazine, you know, but I don't really have Salt and Pepper or Heavy D.
I do.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
So Salt and Pepper's all right. But right now, I'm thinking that we can go lower, and I don't want to, like, we scalped this out on the way down, which was great. Went short again, gave some up there, but I'm trying to hold a little bit into the close. So hopefully we will be able to do that here today. All right, Pinterest, we're only out of 60% of this one, man. I mean, we got two fill, or actually just one fill up here at 50. Again, 60s, stopped at 60. Let's see what Pinterest can do. That's a 34 top right there that we just bounced off of. We're only long, we're not even that good anymore on this. We're long at 13s, sorry, 14s rounded up. Let's get it out at 30. Actually, I do have an offer at 37 on pins, but yeah, I don't know. All right, let's put an offer at like
Frankel's for the win.
28. How much was it?
It was 2.1 billion shares by Vodafone.
Vodafone.
It was Vodafone.
Yeah, I knew it was a European one.
There we go. So Vodafone. That's the all-time record for volume in a day on an individual symbol is 2.1 billion shares. It was Mullen that I think got really close. I want to say within 5% of that, and it was definitely within 10% and couldn't quite get there. I have Mullen up, and someone just said they're going to buy a ton of Mullen. This will be interesting if it gets above $1, because if you don't know the mechanics of what's going on here, is they have to hold above $1 for 10 days in a row to regain compliance with the NASDAQ, not to be delisted. They've already split a couple of times. Obviously, you can only split so many times to get this job done. So the last couple of days, there's been buying into the close to get it right to $1 at the close. Like, it's basically closing $1, then giving it up, and trying to go again, and giving it up, and then closing at $1, giving it up. And it's just this war. At some point, you either fail it and break down, it's going to 80. That's my take, because that's what happened last time. Or if it does break out, and whoever's selling it gives it up, and it gets through the 110 level, I think it just squeezes through 110 if that were the case. So I'm going to have it up every single day until one of those two things happens, because that's a move that we want to capture. So we'll take advantage of it if we get that opportunity too. I have one question for you. You just mentioned Heavy D. As a Packers fan, now that you have Love, what are you going to do with it?
Probably raise the Super Bowl. The Vince Lombardi is what we're going to do with Jordan Love. What do you mean, what am I going to do with it? With what?
Heavy D. Now that we have Love, what are we going to do?
Oh, now that we have Love, what are we going to do? Raise the Vince Lombardi.
I mean, you guys aren't going to win the Super Bowl, but if the Packers win 9 games today, you'd be.
Well, the thing is, we only won 9 last year, or we were 8-9 with A-Rod.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do better,
I mean, I know we've improved our quarterback.
That would be a huge win doing better.
Yeah.
You didn't improve. Well, okay.
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is kind of. All right. Right now, guys, I don't want to throw any shade to Jets fans. We already talked about them being second, which did surprise Neil.
I do that
there, I think Miami. I mean, Miami and Jets, I think, are pretty close in that division. But it's all about what you do in the playoffs, as we know. Playoffs. Okay. NVIDIA just cracked again down to 438 and stopped on the 200-period moving average. I still like it, though. I want to hold this name short. Let's find something else. What is PayPal doing? Absolutely nothing. Let's check out our friend Alibaba. We haven't looked at this, but Alibaba, again, is one of these. So, I mean, we're party on Wayne, party on Garth right there. Shout out to everybody that is or currently located, or maybe you are Canadian or you're not. Maybe you do know or do not know Wayne's World. I think everybody, I don't think it really matters where you're
I mean, it's a Saturday Night Live thing, so.
Yeah, nationality there. I'll be Wayne, you be Garth, okay? But there it is right here, $89.
Hey, man, Garth gets the.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
yeah,
I shouldn't. Well, they both, but I mean.
You can be whoever you want.
Easy win.
$89 right there for.
Garth is a legend.
I think, yeah. I mean, he could be, yeah, whatever.
I love Garth.
We'll switch it up. Dana Carvey, Mike Myers. I mean, 89.2 right now for Alibaba. We took a piece out just before VWAP, but this was back an hour ago, literally an hour ago. As we now enter Power Hour, thank you. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe, please, on the show. That'd be nice. But we are below VWAP right now on Alibaba. So as we zoom in just a little bit to have a quick look at this, 89.50 to come into play there. So Alibaba, nice little movement to the downside there today. I want to see this name continue to make moves downside right there. Apple, we have that bad wick. That's still trying to get this fill. I might just move this fill to 60. I don't know. It's bouncing around now. I think we'll do that. I'll pull my 52 bid. Like, it missed us by a penny. That maybe that is something to tell me to switch it up there. We'll give up a dime on this. It's already, there it is. It's already 70 cents in the. So we'll take a little bit out now as we'll watch a video, hopefully bleed into the close. And I don't have much else going on. There is some talk there. I just want to show everybody in case you think that we're avoiding Yell Q, because I saw some more in the chat. Unfortunately, the way we work here at Day Trade the World with our platform is every stock has to sort of get approved and go through compliance, has to make sure it does 50,000 shares or more per day, and has to trade greater than $1 on the pink sheets. So if it doesn't do that, then we can't trade it, and today was the first day. So Yell Q is a 0 on our platform, but I can show it to you on eSignal or Trade Ideas if you want. But it's not. I don't know if said it was mover, but yeah,
at the
one
open,
move. Yeah,
it's a $1 break. That's all you want.
That's it. Yeah, and then it stopped there at $1.40 at about 10.20, and there's no. I can tell right now there's not much volume here. I don't have the volume candles up, but these aren't even filling in like after 5 minutes. So I don't think it's going to be a trade, but we'll look at it tomorrow when I'm hoping that it's in our system. And actually here. This is what I use. Shout out to Jeff Mendel, who was on our show yesterday, who still needs to take us golfing, Brendan. Like, I think we should ban this guy until we get a tee time. I'm not even playing, and I'm going to message him that ASAP after this. All right, so this is the current market. I like to update it by trades here. Shout out to you, Jeff Mendel. Come over to the screen so I can send him this clip after, show him the kind of work we're doing right now. Thank you. Right here, so here we go. I'm just playing around. We like Jeff, sort of. 10 cent right there, 11,000 trades today. So if you go all the way down, there's GBTC. We have some Bitcoin news, of course. Rolls Royce, this is right there, doing work. DD, he's talked about a couple times. Ethereum. But anyways, as you go all the way down, here's Yell Q right now. Good amount of volume today on the share side, 3 million shares, but only 2,400 trades. Like, that's not that many trades at all for them, but still, nice market. They've obviously taken off Yell Q. So, there's BBYQ there as well. Bed Bath & Beyond, only 20 cents right now. The best story here in a while has been Luckin. That came over at $4, man. It's $29 today.
I think to show
that's a hell of a short, though. But.
Like, there's sometimes just because something goes with OTC does not mean the stock is dead. Like, you will see bounces. I mean, Bed Bath & Beyond bounced.
Nvidia. It
bounced for a couple of days. Well, actually, it bounced for a week, I think, over there before it actually caught a top. The market is back at the lows. U.S. Steel's back at the high. So you got to find something. If you're going to go for a long trade, you can only go long. Find something with support. Find something strong. It has a catalyst behind it. But I'm not going to look that gift horse enough. It does not want to get past 31.90. So you grab the clean 50 pennies on this name. It's about all the return I think you're going to get off this level. It's 3 o'clock, so I don't know if we get back down to 31.30. If it gets to support, you can always make a judgment call to get back in or not. I'm guessing it's late enough in the day that the answer is probably no, and then wait till tomorrow. Because if the levels show up on this stock, I just think you can play off of them like every single day. We're not quite at the low of the day on Intel. Really only had the 2 trades. That was the first hump. There was probably one shot to get in again. I think right here at about 11 o'clock. As you guys know, like 11 o'clock, exactly when we're finishing the morning show. It's like, yeah, get up, go to the bathroom. But there was one shot, I think, to get in at that point back at 34.30. But it gave you the curl right at 34 even. And we're heading right back into the bottom. I think we can get to the low of the day. If we do, I'm going to take it out unless we're cratering through 15,000. That is that key price area that you want to respect, and we're going to keep doing so. Palantir is still not giving me a reason to get in, but it's getting pretty darn close. We just wicked off 15,000 without this breaking off the highs. Again, If you want to go long something in a down market, don't fight. Just go long in something that is showing you strength. This is showing strength. It's got higher lows. It took out the top while the market's holding the bottom, and it just held that breakout price as the market tested that low. Maybe one more test here and then look for another breakout. There's still time for that to happen. D-Lo, missed opportunity on D-Lo here. I mean, it was on the watch list. So, you know, it was an earnings play on the watch list, and I wasn't looking at it. And I know the midday guys, I think they were all over this one. So shout out to them. But this just kept breaking out. It actually held $20 here, so maybe it's got a secondary run in it. Wow, look at the long off 20 here, right at 2 o'clock as we're coming back. I'm not going to be mad. We're looking at the stuff we wanted to, but this just gave you the 20 level right into 21. Every dollar on this stock has been pretty interesting. There's 22, 23. Like it gets to a level, consolidates at the dollar level, then breaks one way or the other. So that being said, there's no size at 21. Maybe it's just a long off 21. Risk 5 to 10 cents and see what happens.
People are asking for a copy of the cheat code. Now, I can't realistically give it to you. So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to follow the trades and check out the sticky note every single day. I mean, the cheat code is right here. I don't know. And then watch the show and make sure you like and subscribe, because right now we are.
Oh my God.
$4 in the money now on NVIDIA. And again, it's just like, just take in consideration the risk to reward on this, right? This now R to R, if you come over, yeah, thanks guys. If you come over to the screen, I was stopping out at 41.50, or maybe this stop out here, 441.75. You know, where are we short here? We're short at 441.15. So let's just say this was, even if we run this all the way to 442, which I wasn't gonna do, I was going to use 50s. So whatever it does, I could show you my stop order, but so that's 30 cents, 40 cents worth of risk to now be in the money $4. It's not, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. That is 100% sure and certain. You've seen me get railroaded before. It's just a matter of taking trades where the risk to reward is actually lining up. And I just feel that if you do that, then, it doesn't work out all the time, of course, but that's what trading's all about, is try to forever put the odds in your favor, right? And I just think that if you have a platform and you have a way to trade, that's sort of the key. That's why, that saying of, and I'm going to screw this saying up, but, about giving a horse water or leading them, actually giving a man a fish or teaching him how to fish. I feel like that's kind of what we're trying to do here every single day at Trader TV Live, is just give you sort of the trades that I'm in, why I'm in them, where my stops are, where the outs are, and then the rest is up to you. Whether or not you want to take $4 or not is up to you, but that's the risk reward that I put on, and we did get stopped out. Like I told you, we're giving back money here, we're giving back money. But now, if I were to punch out of NVIDIA right now, then I'd be at the highest spot I've been at all day, including not just net-wise, but with my NVIDIA position as well. So, and then look at this Apple. Where do you think, let's just do it again with Apple. Like, again, not just talking reasonably here with everybody. Like, if you look at this Apple trade, and I'm going to try to zoom this a little bit because I don't want to get that back. Okay, here it is. So where do you think, so right now we're short Apple, and I'm just going to do this. You guys can push record, and I can send this out, or you can put it out on tradertv.live.com. But where do you think the out is on Apple right now? We're short. I mean, let's just trade with Sean, a new segment. You get short right now. The out for Apple is right here at 50. So that's about 30 cents worth of risk. So when it comes back in, sure, right there is 30 cents. That's 1 to 1. Then you're almost at 2 to 1. And right now you're floating back into the bottom of the day. Now you don't go risk to reward on all the trades. It's not how, I don't even really look at trades like this. It's just, this is how they're panning out. And I told you, I didn't have that much faith. And this is why I don't have a problem telling you guys this. I didn't trust this market move down, or else I would not have gotten so much out here at VWAP. But when it comes back in, now, where do you think our next out should be? Like, how about right now, as this market continues to fall out back to past support, right? So this is, again, worth risk 30 cents, in the money now 90 cents. So it's just a matter of trying to go back and forth with your trades and just building something that you trust and that you can hit over and over again. Neil sort of already said the magic words there, that if it's not scalable, then it doesn't really matter. And that's why I'm continuing to look at the same names every single day to get better and better at trading these names and trading this style, which is why I stayed away today from Target. I mean, earnings plays haven't been my MO, and what they do are, or when they are, is when they base out and give me a level. So, you know, I always say trading's not rocket science. It's very hard. I cannot believe I'm still doing this after 22 years. But at the end of the day, if you're passionate about something, you'll find your way. And I think that we've had traders come through these doors and walk right out of there because passion, it hasn't been there for them. And, you know, that's what trading's all about. If you can last in this game, I promise you, it'll be a fun one and a profitable one.
That's the thing about it. It's like, now there's another saying. It's if you enjoy your job, you never work a day in your life. So that's what everyone aspires to. Like, some people are really fortunate. I feel like we've gotten to do that. I'm lucky in my family because my brother gets to do it. He's an artist. I think that's even more. It's harder to do because being an artist is difficult. Just a couple of things to get to. I did take that D-low. I'm going to get to it in a second. But Ford hit another low and then bounced. And like, it's just every time it does a barcode, it kind of makes sense to get something out at that level if it starts to hold. So it's a 3-minute chart, and if it holds the same price for 10 minutes. Then get something out in the bid. It's trending down. There's nothing wrong with it. I have a bid the next 10 cents if it wants to flush. I've been in it all day long when it failed $12. Pre-market, then when it could not hold above 12, just short it right back underneath. I did get into D-low. And you know, the thing that was interesting is you guys were just talking about D-low in the chat, and it just happened to notice, okay, well, it holds 20 and goes up $1. And then now all of a sudden you had resistance at 21, wicks to 21, comes back underneath, higher low. Well, it wants to break out at 20, 21 again. Okay, well, if you can get long at 10s and risk it down to the even, then you've got a decent R&R to get to VWAP there. It goes 1-to-1, takes them out, goes just maybe 2.5-to-1. We'll get some out at that level. And I like it. Like, it can turn into a loser, but I think it's just an easy out if it breaks 21 even. And that's what I'll do. I'll just get out if it breaks that 21 even. The market continues to flush into the downside. That's going to be in the end. Once again, we're at the low of the day on Intel, so it just hands another 1% cookie here, there for you. Down 3%. There was news for Intel today as to why it's maybe down more than the rest of the market. I don't think that's the reason, but they did lose a deal with, it doesn't really matter. They lost a deal with an Israeli company they were going to buy that nobody believed the deal was going through. Chinese did not give approval, so it's flushing. I'm out. It's been bouncing off that low of the day. I'll look for another entry. It is 312. I'm going to hold on to Ford. I am out of Palantir. It was a good long, but at some point you've got to be able to get out, and the market weakness has taken over, so no reload on the Palantir long. Just going to be able to hold on to it. You want to preserve. Just because I like the long doesn't mean I have to hold this particular stock on that last entry. Make sure you hold out when it is good and you have a reason. Once you have a reason to get out of the trade, just do it. Don't fight the trend. Don't fight the tape. The market wants to go down. We're going to let it happen. 2 set downside. Oh, and a great opportunity maybe here for U.S. Steel, because if we bounce off 31.30 again, I didn't think we'd get down here this fast. So unless there's something changing, I didn't think there was any. Wait a minute.
Is there news on Apple or something?
Only endorse Cleveland Cliffs. Okay, USW International only endorsed Cleveland Cliffs bid. That's from Reuters. So that's actually not that great for U.S. Steel stock, because the $35 bid is what's keeping it up here. When this was only the Cleveland Cliff bid, this was trading with 30 support underneath 31. So I will not be reloading based on that headline I just saw.
I mean, just join me at 4 o'clock. I honestly, right now, what's been happening, I was thinking about what to do for the trade of the day, and that's when we had NVIDIA the first time for $7. Now we just hit it again for another $5. Like, this is where scalping and everything is just like, NVIDIA's total range today is 444 down to 434. It's $10. We have $12 or more of profit on this name. Like this is just falling right back in again, right back to these levels. And then, I mean, I look at the chart. We just talked about Apple, risk to reward, yada, 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 yada. And now you're seeing pay dirt. So that's what that is right now. Shout out to Dan Emmons. Yeah, you are right, man. Opening range breakdown. Dan, you love this opening range stuff. I'm going to have you on. Maybe, Dan, you want to come on our closing show at one point here? Where is Dan? There he is. Fire me off a message. I know you've DM'd me here, and we've DM'd each other on X. before. So let me know if you want to come on the closing show. We'll talk about exactly that. Only if you want to. It's no pressure. Shout out. It's roll call time. What's up, Frank Jones? What's up, John? Oh, by the way, maybe I shouldn't do roll call. How many likes do we have? 526 likes. All right, let's get that going. I'll do roll call one more time here for everybody, but it needs to be a lot higher. That's a shady number right there. Over 2,000, 4,000 watching right now. Can't hit the like button. Shout out to Zion. What's up, Chimps? What's up, Frank Jones? What's up, Michael Newton? What's up, Britt? I haven't seen you before. What's up, Britt? What's up, Emma? Like that name, my cousin Emma as well. What's up, Dewey? For El Taz. You've been here before. What's up, User? I like that, User. What's up, User? Hey, my paisan. What's up, Ben? How's everything going with you guys out there as well? What's up? Yo, what's up, Miami? The MIA is in the building again. Wow. All right. Yeah, roll call can hold up right now. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. Follow me on Twitter, but there it goes, right back to the low of the day. And yeah, there it is, man. We used to say, Brittany, we did it again, but she's lost her way. We are not doing that at all. We found our way. There it goes, straight up to the downside. Ciao, see you later. $5 in the money on this one. Where do we stop? Nobody knows, Neil, but we have some big bangers right here on board. I hope you're liking the show so far because this is exactly what we're doing. There's Dollar Club members everywhere, man. It's Apple's a Dollar Club member. It's Alibaba's a Dollar Club member. VFS is a Dollar Club. NVIDIA is a 5 times, 12 times member today as it continues to go. And Pinterest as well, now starting to head back down, but we're almost out of all of that. We got out of 60% there, now 80% out as we hit that teal just for 20 pennies or so. But now we're going to have to wait to see what happens now as this market is continuing to make new lows. And there we go, Neil. Beautiful moves to the downside.
Actually, I was just about to ask Brennan in the chat, but I'm just going to say it out loud. Brennan, if you can confirm that thing from U.S. Steel about them only preferring the cliff bid. Because I'm pissed, I'm mad because I pulled my bid and it bounced off that same level again. I feel like that should have taken the stock down further than that.
Confirmed.
And it's a little bit surprised. So it is, so really, I'm surprised the stock is not falling more than that. It doesn't make any sense. Someone just mentioned Caterpillar in the chat to me. Shout out to Sharif. What's the fail?
Just that's not going down more.
It doesn't make any sense to me. The Cliff deal, whatever, it's cash in stock, Cleveland Cliffs, unless Cleveland Cliffs is fine. I'm assuming Sharif, he's talking about Caterpillar, he wants to get into it. While the market's heading to the downside, if you like dip buys, this gets really interesting. We'll see tomorrow, but this is the breakout on Caterpillar. I'm just kind of wrote this down on my iPad for tomorrow. If we break 70, 265 was the huge breakout zone. If it bounces off this range, I think you could have like a $3 to $5 move. It's only interesting on earnings, and if it gets back to the earnings level breakout price, that is a catalyst for me on Caterpillar. As I said, I took my profits through those bottoms. I'm going to hold on to a couple of shorts here. We'll see what they do, but the market is finding. All right, here we go. The market's trying to find a bid. This is the NASDAQ. This is the ES. Now, I know it's 44.20. This is not going to go back far enough. 44.20 here on the ES. Bit of a bounce zone potentially. Like I said, I've taken profit in a couple names. I do think I want to hold on to 4 because I think it can just flush pretty much anywhere. We have it's 317. There is a lot of time till we get to the imbalances, and I'm expecting you're going to get some fireworks. The numbers did absolutely nothing today in terms of what the Fed did or even at the open. It is just trend is your friend. And when the trend is your friend, look for the stair step to the downside. And every time I see a stair step, I'm looking for a short to pop or a consolidation entry point. The next time it happens, you get back into the short. Sometimes it's really obvious. Other times you kind of have to take a swing at it. Let's just say something like here on Intel. It might be a 33.50 or 33.60. That could be the next leg or next shoe to drop. Oh, and I now have a bid that I didn't have on VFS. We're day trading. We have to be out at the end of the day. So I can think that VFS eventually is going to flush to $20, but right now it's a holding VWAP. So if it gets to VWAP again, I'm getting out. Not everything, but I'm going to take another fill. We have not been bidding. I was bidding underneath here trying to get 26s and 27s. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, as it holds higher, VWAP gets higher, and I want to make sure I'm getting out in front of it. It's just an indicator that a lot of us use. There was a question in the chat, why do we keep referencing VWAP and what is it? It's a volume-weighted average price. I use 2 indicators on my chart. I've got volume and I've got VWAP. And if you're interested in a definition of it, we actually have a video on our other YouTube page where you can check that out. Actually, I think it was the very first educational video we ever did was what is VWAP? So that's an answer. I'm bidding in front of it to take out VFS. Would be nice if it wanted to follow the market. but it's holding in the money. There's no reason to get out just yet.
Okay. Oh, first of all, thank you so much to Hampton's trader right here, talking about GOATs. But Messi, Messi's only played, so Messi just tied the other guy, and I should save this for Sharif, just tied whoever else on Inter Miami for 9 goals for the season is how many goals Messi has and this other dude has. But Messi's played 23 less games than him, so I'll take the compliment. But yeah, it's just been a good day. That's all. I mean, we will step up, and take trades that we think are good, and when they work out, right? And the thing is that we had a horrible day on Monday, but we battled back with a big one yesterday, and then you could see what's happening here today. I'm going to trust the teal. We haven't broke this teal all the way down, so if we take this out at 437, which is about to happen right now, so let's just get this out. If we take 437, we'll give it a little bit of love up to 437.26. You can come over to my screen. I'll show you where we're getting out right now. 100% of the trade on a break of 437.26, and we'll ring the register for $4. It was $5 in the money down there at 435. Actually, 435 gives us 5 and change. No, we're short 441. $6 and change. So now I feel even worse giving back $2 on this trade. But hey, if I just keep getting out at all these key levels, then I don't ever get to hold it for that. We were really lucky to get that filled down there. Again, remember we talked about reloading this? This short rate there was 440.50. That out rate there is 436. So that's another $4. Hopefully it comes back in and we'll be able to end the trade rate there. Let's talk about something else now. What else you guys want to look at? Let's look at HKD. We brought that story to you earlier today about HKD and about AMTD. This is what it looked like earlier. We can do a 20-minute chart. HKD looked like it wanted to go early right there up to $7 into some past resistance. But no, does not go and all the way to the downside. It was just reaffirmed guidance by AMTD this morning saying, or I don't know if it was reaffirming or changing it, that they were going to have 50% more net profit coming through. But both those names down today. AMTD not even doing any shares, and the majority of them, I assume, would have been, actually I was wrong on that assumption. There was just some big block trades happening in here in the middle of the day. I thought it was going to be maybe off the open there. Okay, I felt bad for not taking $6 on NVIDIA, but now it just came back in and gave us that trade again, and I didn't take it again. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep trusting that 437. If it breaks it, it breaks it. It's a good day for us. We'll get out of that if it does happen. Oh yeah, DWAC. I see somebody talking about Trump bots there in the chat. I don't know when this name is finally going to solidify and turn over to a company rather than a SPAC. They keep on delaying that. I think Neil and I had talked about that a couple times.
There's another extension again.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at. Is that I don't know where this extension, what the time is. For me,
always short the pot.
I don't want to say, that I don't believe in this name. Just another social media name there. They're going to have to get advertised. They're going to have to get daily active users going through there. And I'm not talking politics here. I'm just, if it goes up, great. It's going to go up on rumors of, we've seen when Trump announced that he was going to be arrested, it went up. When Trump announced he was running for the presidency again, it went up, right? So what you're really waiting for are more headlines similar to that. There was one today, Brendan, on DWAC, and I think it was something about Donald Trump can sell his stake in it without having to be on the platform or something.
What you could do...
I don't know if that... To me, that kind of sounds like bad news, but I don't...
It does sound like bad news. But I guess you could just... You could kind of just play every single breakout when there's news on it and then only trade it on those days. So I was just about to try to show you guys an Apple chart, but I have these really two bad wicks. That I just cleaned them up. They keep popping back in there. So it's going to be hard to demonstrate this. Maybe on my 15-minute. The 15 minutes a little better because it's showing you the bigger time frame. So if you're wondering why there's some relative strength in Apple today, I think it's just because that 177 level. Let me pull up my trade ideas chart. The 177 level has been gigantic on Apple. Okay, this is much more clean. There we go. So if you look at the daily. Look at the 177. It's been holding for it. On the way up, it was a great level. It was a double top breakout, then held support, had this big move into 183, rejected that, came back in, held 77, then almost got to 200. So it's holding on to 77. So the market's breaking lower, and it's going to hold that level. that's the reason. That's the only reason I can give you. I mean, Apple being Apple, I suppose, is the other one. But that's why it feels like it's holding on to the 177 level. I don't really see any other reason. It's just relative strength and a really strong support level. That means a lot to Apple. And if you're trading individual names, this is something we look at. Like if we got back above 15,000 on the NASDAQ, or even the ES getting back above 14.3 above those lows, if you can get a long on an Apple above that 177, then I like that setup because you know it's relatively strong. Now, personally, if this market catches a bid, I know where I'd rather be. Like I'd rather be over in like a Palantir, which is making higher lows and still trending to the upside. So if this move can arrest itself while it's now 330, there's still some time for it to happen. But if we can get back, maybe if this is a wick under 15,000, we get back above. I like the Palantir long into the close if we can capture something along those lines. But until that happens, like I said, the market is looking relatively weak. The only thing that I held through the low is Ford, because it's just an easy, slow grind. It's not whipping around too much, and it generally, if it has an imbalance, then it can push it to the downside. I am looking for a place to get back into Intel. There was looking like it was about to bounce. It did a wick bottom, single green candle on the 3-minute, and looked like it was about to go up, but it's still in the same range. So I'm looking for either show me the consolidation, like fail this top and get back underneath, or break higher and show me a higher low that I can short. Here on Intel, but it could just be right off this bottom with a tight stop as we get closer to 330 and those early look imbalances. I'm just going to check this out because for myself, just to want to see what's happening. If Mullen, like I was saying earlier, if Mullen flushes in to VWAP and I see those million share buyers, I'm just going to get in front of one of them and then hold it to the close. And the notion behind that is that someone's been trying to get it to close above $1. And so if it gives you 98.5 to $1, I'm going to take it. But I need to see the buyers step into this one first. So I have my eyes on one level 2 dedicated to Mullen, where I normally wouldn't when it's not moving a lot.
All right, I've adjusted my stop down 50 more cents as the teals come back into 30s. So we're going to give it to 436.50. That way, we'll be able to lock in roughly the $5 and take it from there. As again, it just keeps touching down to 435 here on NVIDIA, which is that bottom. So yeah, I feel like we should probably be respecting that at some point. And I'm just going to go over some outs here quickly and then talk about a few more things. 177.20 there for Apple. I think that's pretty clean. If we were to use the same kind of logic, we'd almost be getting out right now, as it's really followed this 21 period all the way down here right now. You could use the 50 period out. We already have an out right there, so I'm going to try to take one down here if we do break above 177.20 for $1 again on that one. Alibaba, really no outs. VFS, I am bidding. I just want to talk about these fills because this has come back in right now. I feel like we should. Actually, I don't even have a bid here. VFS. I have one low. Oops, it's a NASDAQ stock. I have one lower on this, back down to $28, but VWAP is right there at what, 60s or 70s?
I'm bidding 70, but
I was going to say, look at the spread.
It's not moving right now.
So it's going to have to basically, someone's going to have to come in and then hopefully want to get short and try to flush this thing 50 cents. And then the idea about putting parked bids is that you want to sit there so that you could be part of this. So let's see, like hopefully someone says, oh, I'll take 1,000 shares. And then if 1,000 shares were to happen right now, you would stop at 70. But if it's 2,000 shares, then it probably flushes to 60 or so, wipes out all of this, plus any dark pool action that's there and anything that's hidden in between these gaps. So
all jokes aside on this.
Yeah.
Like for all that everybody is saying, like about the ridiculous market cap, like I know it's down 22% today, but it's holding at 28. Like this is exactly where we're mocking the, and I'm 100% guilty of mocking the ridiculous market cap, but I still think it's kind of ridiculous, but it's holding up, which is crazy. 2.5 million shares, 2.7 million shares worth of volume, and it's all been above $25. And a market cap which is as big as some of the biggest automakers out there. It's wild, but that's a function of the market when the free float's like 2.1 million and they soaked it up, and there's just nobody selling their shares right now. It doesn't mean there's willing buyers up here, but hey, the market functions in a way that it can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent sometimes if somebody believes there's a short going all the way to 10 and they were holding it from yesterday. Well, they're still out of the money if they're shorting it at the open. Let's go to the desk with Brendan, and we're going to get the early look in the imbalances in a minute, too.
It's the day of penny stocks, guys. DBGI, heavy volume, just halted here to the upside. So it's 90 cents, but notable volume and halt here for DBGI.
Digital brands. Okay, that's somewhat familiar with them. That's a big-time double up. Why is that on Blue Ocean? It's a NASDAQ stock. I'd be like, yeah, dollar break. Yeah, that doesn't look very appealing for the old dollar break. Not when it just went 66 to 90. Like, I feel like that's kind of a sucker's play to do it at the end of the day. If it had gone from 80 to 90, then you have a tighter level to go long. Now you're going long off an explosive. Hey, we've already come 50%. Let's take out the top and go more. Usually, I'd say look for the fail break when it's gone that far, because if it opens up and immediately fails $1, well, you might be able to short 95 with $1 stop. That's 5 cents worth of risk, and if it comes any way back, you get a nice winner. The reason why I'll tell you right now, I probably don't take that trade is because I guarantee we have to pay for locates, and it's 330. So you'd be paying for locates that you might not use, and you essentially are likely to get one shot at it. Whereas if you paid for locates on VFS today, you had all day long to try and figure out a trade. And that's just a better proposition, risk to reward. Because when you pay for locates, the cost that you pay for them is fixed, whether you trade or not. That's part of your R&R, whatever you end up paying for those locates. So you got to factor that in. Like, if you pay for DBGI, you don't use them, it's kind of a sunk cost. And with 30 minutes left, I don't see myself going into it. I'd probably only want to short it anyways on a fail break of $1.
We're really close to getting stopped out on NVIDIA. I mean, stopped out, yeah. It's just a trailing stop. I mean, not really, but we're just trying to play this little area right there, breaking through 50s, and we'll get out. It looks more like 70s is the area, but we'll stick with 50 there. I don't know. I just think if it takes, I don't know, maybe we should just play 75 now. Oh, there it goes. Broke. Okay, we're out. That's fine. Didn't even get a chance to decide on 75. There it goes. Breaks higher again. So good out there on 50. We'll celebrate that victory right there again for us. So that was a good one on that. We're still not getting any bids anywhere else. We said we'd look at something else now. We use Day Trade the World. People asking, oh, we hadn't done.
Yeah, I was just popping that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't done a campus read yet. Is that what you're popping in the chat?
Well, the question was, what brokerage are we using?
Okay.
So yeah, I just want to make sure.
You can join us at daytradetheworld.com. It's actually campus.daytradetheworld.com right now. We talked about this being only open to Canadian residences, but you can also hit apply and tell them where you are from, and then we'll try to open it up to everybody. But what it is a part-time trading experience. It's a course. It's not by me or Neil, but it is the same platform that we use, and there's different phases to go through. Go to campus.daytradetheworld to figure it all out. Obviously, phase one, you're going to get learning modules, 3 to 4 days, not too crazy there. And then you're going to get 2 weeks of sort of trade activity, showing different strategies, maybe getting in and out, proficiency targets. I like that. And then you're going to go into TMS and then get some goals. And if you start to pass all of these goals, then you go into where everybody wants to be, live trading. So again, fully funded by us here at Day Trade the World. So there's absolutely no cost to anybody. Join that right now.
Just your time.
Stat. And enjoy yourself.
Just that it's not by us. However, traders that graduate or become trainees on this particular floor, and traders that we've trained in the past go through an it's almost the same kind of a process, right? Like you got to learn the platform first, you got to learn the market basics, you got to hit some of those standards. You start in the simulator, so it is very similar to the same thing that 20 years ago I would have gone through. That Brennan would have gone through, you would have gone through when you started out. You see Sharif. It's not exactly the same program, obviously. There's always nuances when you have a different floor manager and a risk manager, but it's a lot of the same kind of thing. And we are on a prop floor, and there's hundreds of these worldwide. So I think it's valuable because if you want to be a trader, you kind of have to put the work in, and you kind of have to be willing to learn. It's just not sitting down and hitting keys. Yannick saying, would I take 31 on U.S. Steel? I'm still trying to... You know what? You don't have to make a trade, but I'm trying to chew through. Like the logic to me here, I could be just dead wrong about this. Like the logic to me would be, if they're favoring the other bid, I suppose ArcelorMittal could come with a higher bid, but if there's almost no chance the board accepts the $35 offer, then why aren't we trading underneath 31? The fact that we're bouncing above that, I mean, sometimes the market's just right, and you should stop trying to figure it out and understand that the market's right. And whoever is making the arb trade here or is betting on this likes that 31. Still, apologies, I'm missing some data on my 3-minute chart, so I keep going to my 15-minute. But you guys saw the 31 support previously. I guess it's not a bad bid. I doubt there's any reason to get into it and make that guess today. But if tomorrow we're still holding 31, then I probably just do go long over here. My first thought was that it should be trading underneath 31 back in, and I'd buy 30s. But that's not what's happening here. And you have to accept that you can be wrong. And if the market tells me that this is a level, then you just trade that level. I don't really try to get too complicated with it. Come on, VFS is going to have to, if VFS doesn't fill in the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to probably punch out at 20, something out at 29, because that's kind of nuts. It just does not want to go anywhere. The market is popping back up. I thought maybe there'd be a good long in Palantir. It's trying to get back above that previous high, that 60, but I'm not seeing a lot of buying above it again. So unfortunately, not really as strong as I would like, but we're getting close to that 15,000 mark in the NASDAQ again.
I just was like, oh my God. I might use a different word, but like I just got filled again on Pinterest right there as it just went. I wasn't even paying attention to it as we only have 20% left. Just went back up right back into 40s again. So we take a, well, we got to fill there at 37. So fill right here, right now on Pinterest. Good out for us, obviously, on NVIDIA. It's 335. The number was 285 million to buy right now. So we're going to have to watch out for that. People chanting AMC, AMC. Whenever you do that, we do this. Let's see. Okay, so we just started to moon a little bit here. Not really, but nice little break through the day's high. So that's, is it the day's high even? Sorry. Back up to day's high right now. We hadn't been this high since the open. So let's go to see what happens here at 380. 350 maybe a bottom. Nice little break higher. Let's see if we can get going now on this break of a high there for AMC. And of course, you know, those of you that are in AMC know sort of that this little level, it's funny because I do that and then you flip over. I like that. I'll wait next time a little bit longer since you're on top of it. That's great. Fabian's and
He's
Ramin
on fire
are both
with that.
on fire with this. So, yeah, that little bottom right there of 350, 360, we'll wait to see if it can hold, and that's really what you're playing off of. I think that's not a bad play every single day on AMC. Wait for that 350 to come in, and then give yourself an opportunity to play the momentum to the upside if it does come in later on in the day. And that's happened, I feel like, a few times now, and we've missed the boat on that. Not that we're trying to avoid not trading AMC. I like trading it.
When it breaks forward.
It's just that's the thing, right? When it breaks either lows or highs, I think is when you want to get ramped up, unless there's all of a sudden news on it. I'm not seeing anything on the news wire here. Volume has picked up recently, though, on AMC, and I just wonder if it's because it's breaking that high right now. Yeah, I know, Neil. I mean, those stocks go up and down.
It's where it is. That's
VinFast.
Shout out to Ganesh in the chat. It's not just that VinFast. Sorry, not VinFast. We're in VinFast. SPGC. That was the other IPO. That's Saks Parente. They make golf shafts. Again, like I actually didn't know this was a thing. I'm not a golfer. I didn't realize that like there's companies that will just make shafts and then sort of make the shaft for other people that make the club. It makes sense that there would be that kind of a specialty. That's how markets work. I love that kind of a thing. But it's almost like poetic because this thing, I don't know the IPO price here, but it opened up with a 420 bottom. And it got all the way to the upside yesterday, and it's right back at 420. You know, like that's where it was. That's where the market was like, this is where it should open up, and that's where it settles right back into. So as a trading vehicle, great if you had it yesterday. And I wish I could tell you that we were looking for the short in this thing today because it went back to 420 even. This is maybe not if it was 2:30 or 1 o'clock, maybe not a bad place to just try like a little sneaky long with a 420 stop. You risk 10 cents on it. But it's way too late in the day for that. Maybe tomorrow. If it can hold this for a day or two, I think that's not a bad little bit of a base. But good shout out there. I am back into Intel. I was looking for a couple of things here. I'll go back to my 3-minute. I either wanted this, maybe if it was going to break down a channel. Instead, it tried to break the top of the next channel and then failed right back underneath with the futures not getting back above 15,000. That's kind of a key for me. If we're not breaking this back out, then look to short the next failure, which was failed this little top here when it tried to break out the channel, gets back underneath the original channel, goes short, get out in front of 60 with a 55 entry. The low of the day is 45, so we can go 1 and then 2. And Intel sometimes has an imbalance. I don't know if it's going to matter. It always pairs off. But ideally, you can be in this, like if it stops me out, it stops me out for the 5 cents, or you're just in it for 350. And if it's in the money for 350, you can tighten up the stop. If it comes out of sell and bounce on the market, you just benefit from the move to the downside. The other story here, bigger picture for Intel, is today, barring something crazy, it's going to close beneath the 50-period moving average. So if that happens, sometimes it can be a trend down. It hasn't really meant anything because there was never follow through the following day the last couple of times. If there is follow through the next day, I'm expecting a move into 30. And if it closes beneath the 50-period tomorrow as well, I'm thinking trend down to $30 on Intel. That would be my line of thinking. Doesn't mean you have to short every single day. It just means I'm looking for a short setup until it gets to $30 on Intel. But it's got to close down there first. It's going to today, as I said, barring something insane. Now that I said that, something insane is going to happen because that's how life works. But that's all I'm expecting to happen here. I just want to follow that trend. And if a stock has a bigger overall trend, then I want to respect that as a day trader and then look in that direction. Speaking of that, same thing on Ford underneath $12. We're going to close underneath 12, so I'm going to look tomorrow again for short underneath $12 until it gets close enough to 11 where it's like almost an auto buy. Sit on bid and buy on Ford at 11 until this stops working. But you can see on the daily chart, sometimes support and resistance is not that difficult to find. And Ford is a very good example of that. You essentially, I'm not saying you got to buy it, but if you're buying the stock, you buy it at $11. Ideally, you sell it at $15. Not going to pretend that I did. But if it gets down to $11, I think it's a buy again. But underneath 12, trend in. That's your consolidation. Look for the short underneath. We're going to do that again tomorrow as long as it sets up. Brendo?
Just seeing HE, big move down here, guys. On a creditor note, they're going to be in talks with creditors on restructuring some debt. Multiple lawsuits also to deal with here for Hawaiian Electric.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation there. Over 100, we can't lose sight of over 100 lives lost. And if there's any liability here, if you ever followed the PG&E out on the West Coast when they were found responsible for the forest fires there, it was years it took for the lawsuits and. They eventually rebounded, just because the company can stay around, the shareholders can get absolutely beaten up here. So it is halted to the downside at 1482. Right now it's indicating a 1482 open. The local bottom here is essentially, it's almost there, is 14. This might open up before 4 o'clock. If it breaks 14, it's probably a short again through that 14 level. It's not to beat a dead horse or anything. It's just, if this breaks 14, it could easily halt down one more time and then open up at 4 o'clock. So it should open because it's not 350 yet. And then if it halts after that, after 350, the open would be at 4 o'clock for the closing print, which would then open you into the aftermarket. So if it gets underneath that $14, I think that's a short. I'm not even sure if you're able to get it. It's going to be SSR. Obviously, it was down 10%, more than 10% yesterday. So you can't actually hit the bid if 14 goes, but you can try.
All right. I just want to talk. We got out of Apple there when it broke through 20s there, by the way. I don't know what else to do about that. Broke through, so we're out of Apple. Unfortunately, it's down another 15 cents from that spot, but okay. Right there, 117.20 out of Apple. I just tweeted just now. You guys join me here on the after show. It's up right now. The link, go find it right here. Click on it at Trader TV Sean. Lots to discuss today. We'll have Michael Noss coming talking about steel and or US dollar. And then I'm going to talk about some of the earnings plays, talk about the trade of the day and a few interesting points, a few cool graphics that I have that I was able to pick off Twitter, and discuss some few interesting things. We've discussed Michael Burry on there the last couple of days. We discussed the Tesla charging stations, things like that. So 50-period moving averages on some of the big tech plays. And I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Anyways, we're trying to get that. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got a little fill there at 60s. We only got a part fill. We'll figure this out as it comes back through. But right now, we've canceled our order. I want to wait for VinFast now to come in to the end of the day and see if we can't get anything even lower. Let me just zoom this back out a little bit.
27.
Where is the bottom? It's right there, 25. Yeah, maybe 26 instead. I just wonder if there is going to be a collapse here. Let's put a bid at 27 just in case. it does come in all the way at the end of the day, and we'll take a 27 bid. I mean, if it hits, great. That'll be another one. Right now, this is $2 in the money, or I guess 180 if you can get that 60 fill there. And that's all that's happening right now. Alibaba, I don't really have a stop for that one. Although we can use this. There's only 5 minutes now until the imbalances come out, so we'll have to wait for that. NVIDIA is trying to test for lows, people saying maybe, maybe not, I don't know. We got out right there at 36. That was $5. So we take that winner and now don't have to worry about the imbalances, which we know will affect the stock one way or the other. And I just don't want to take the risk there, not when this can move $3 or $4 against us stat. So we'll wait for that one as well. Oh, good name there in the chat. Shout out to, who just put it right there? Div, what's up to you, Div, in the chat talking about Roblox. This is a name that we had yesterday. Ooh, wow. Ooh, didn't even see this one today. I was going to say, how much under 30 is it? We were trying to play off 30 yesterday. That's today, of course. But there in the pre-market, we actually were well below it there in the pre-market. Made it move back to 30, then it's faded all day. The reason why I like this level is just since, here, we can even zoom in even more than that. Just since earnings, like, you know, there's a word that I made up, quadunk. So like there it is right there. It's a nice move all the way to the downside there. And another thing is like, what's life without whimsy? You know, so you gotta.
I have no idea. Actually, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I came up with it. So,
yeah, it's a great saying. You should put it up.
It's great when Sharif's not here to defend himself, so that's great. All right, 29 bottom there. So I want to look at this tomorrow. I don't want to play any kind of moves like that right now, but right there, 29.25 or so coming into play again. Why is our net just, oh, yes, sir.
Market's going down.
No, it's VF.
They're bouncing. So I'm looking at USC.
Yeah, I'm looking at my net just cranking here as there goes VFS. Good.
Oh, it's VFS. That's
good pull at 60 for your boy right now. Let's see how far this one wants to go down. VFS right now does join once again. Now 250 in the money. There's a bid there that I can smack at 28.01. Oh, someone just did. Why did I say that? There was a, now that's at 02. Okay, so someone's trying to find liquidity lower here. I bet somebody's stuck right now.
I'm going to trail it right here.
Yeah, so let's see what happens. I could just punch a piece out right now at 10 again. It's 250 in the money.
So
yeah,
he opened back up again, that Hawaii Electric. It's about to break that 14 even, which... Oh, sorry, maybe not. Actually just bounced off that 14 even. So it opened up, just touched 14.05. There was no break of that level.
Oh,
it actually bounces off that level. That's pretty good. VFS just continues to fall. I moved my bid back. That's greedy. I was bidding 27s. Now I'm moving it to 26. I think it might flush. I'm just going to trail it. There goes the 14. No, it held. Oh, it wicked underneath. No, it didn't. 14.00. It actually bounced exactly off of 14 even. This could still break down here. I doubt you actually get a fill if it breaks, but... I suppose is a possibility. Yeah, there's now some size trailing VFS. I don't know if you've shown that.
No, I haven't done anything on VFS. I just want to say I hope that everybody is safe in that. I mean, that's VFS, or sorry, HE, Hawaii Electric there.
Hawaii
I mean,
Electric.
just a shout out to everybody. And I just hope that if your family is down there, you know, prayers up to everybody. I know it was a nasty one there. And I don't, you know, we're just trading, you know, stuff that we see, obviously. So, you know, it's not that we want to short this name because of what's happened. We just trading levels and liquidity and stuff like that. So I just got to say that. I mean, it obviously means a lot to me. You can't, every day I talk about my family on the show and what we're doing and practice again tonight and just feel blessed to be healthy and safe and, you know, not having anything like that to deal with. So a big shout out to everybody that's out there that has had some unfortunate events happen there in Hawaii. So that's really nasty. So I just wanted to say that before we continued on. But yeah, there it is.
So, oh yeah, someone is absolutely trapped in VFS.
Yes, you could tell that as soon as they started closing.
But there is an order here. So this guy, this is not, it's like 10,000 shares, like 9,800. This was just at 28. Now it's at 27.5. So the simple answer of like what to do, it's like, well, just let them trail out and put a trailing stop. If that level breaks, just get out and see how far it goes to the downside. So that's what I want to do here. So you know what? Actually, I'm going to use a different key for that. I'm going to use that 100% key. So if it breaks this guy, I'm just going to get out. So it's right there on the offer. I now have a bid at 26. I said I pulled my bid at 27 and moved it in front of 26. And if they break this dude, Now there's another size there, but if it breaks this one, I just get out of the trade. Otherwise, hold it into the close. We have 1 minute until the imbalances. As I was doing that, I don't know if I would have gotten the fill on Hawaiian Electric. It did break that 14 level, but I was just seeing that size on VFS, flipped over to that stock to move a trailing stop over, and Hawaiian Electric took out the 14 and is continuing to fall down here. I don't know where a bid would reasonably be here from any kind of valuation standpoint. I just know that when you do make moves like this, sometimes the even dollars will stack up a bid. You saw it bounce once off 14. If it were to get to something like a 10 or a 12, it wouldn't be crazy that you find buyers down there. Again, no idea what their liability could be in any sense. Like, we're not here to make a fundamental case one way or the other, just to show you guys the price action. If it halts, it's not going to open up till 4 o'clock. Forget about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. At this point, if it halts, it's opening up at 4 o'clock. That's just the way the rules work, and it is absolutely tanking. So if you could have got the shares, I don't even know if we had to pay for locates on this, to be honest. I didn't even test an order before I put that stop in originally. It's a good question to ask. We do, yeah, we actually have locates on that name. So you could have, you could have had that 14 break if you could get a fill. I was putting my stop out in VFS, which is now through 27, down to 26.70.
Yeah, what a great trade that is on
This is
VFS.
nasty.
Now $3 in the money. Someone said, does anybody else dance every time the dollar club hits? And yeah, I do, but I'm sure other people do as well. But yeah, VFS just continues to make that move. Oh, by the way, we have imbalances right now, so I don't know why I didn't look at those. Let's just call those up real quick right now for the market on close imbalances. We'll put it up here so we can have a look together. It's going to be Pfizer. It's going to be Apple with a sell. We're only, right now, we're just in pins. Well, we also have Alibaba. Let's see, is Alibaba on here at all? Amazon's there as a sell to see if there's anything happening on that name. Yeah, selling off a little bit there. J&J with a buy. There's some rebalancing and everything happening with J&J.
It's gonna buy every day.
There's the Ken view and all that kind of stuff, so that's not really moving. Microsoft trying to take 320, not maybe on this, maybe it will. Nice move down there. And this is why it's very tough to be in these names as the imbalances come out, because you just don't know what's going to happen to them. Like, no jokes aside, like there's a big sell. If Microsoft comes out a buy, then you're going that way, and there's nothing you could do about it. So that's why it is a good idea. Again, everyone trades your own book, but I think we both try to get a little bit flat here into the close of the market, especially with the imbalances coming. And I think that's something that hopefully some of the traders out here, let's check out Pfizer quickly.
Speaking of, I didn't see an imbalance on Intel. However, when they did come out, make it read. I put my stop order before this happened, so I don't know if it's a buy or sell, but it broke that channel to the upside. I was getting out when it broke that channel. Maybe it was a buy imbalance, maybe it was a sell imbalance. It doesn't matter. I was always trading with a trailing stop underneath. I got one fill under there while VFS was making its moves, but if it goes in my direction, like say it's $1 million to sell, then you probably have that one work out and you get like 3 to 1. But I'm always going to have a tight stop at 350. You want to make sure you do that. I'd pull J&J up, but it's weird. It's had a bounce every single day, and I've yet to find a day where it's actually moved the stock, unfortunately. I did get out of VFS. It just kind of, it just showed there I'm only in Ford now. But it did run that guy. Like the person that was chasing it to the downside, it tried to get in, and then they ran that stop, and it's back above that 28 level. So I got out of VFS. Trade's done for me. I'm still only in Ford, but with this, with only 7 minutes to go here, it's not really doing much of anything. I'll come back to the same level tomorrow. No point bidding down there. If it breaks 86, I'll get out. Otherwise, just going to pop a bid at the low of the day and see what happens. And I don't mind rooting for HE here because it's still holding that $14 level. So there is something to, like, it just happened to be yesterday's low, but it's holding yesterday's bottom pretty decently. A couple times it's gone underneath. It did not halt to the downside a second time. It's catching a bit of a bid. Maybe this is level to watch tomorrow morning. That's the only time I might trade the stock. It's not a guarantee. It's obviously moving here. Relief rallies on these can be absolutely spectacular. I remember the better trades on PCG were actually when it was rebounding to the upside. It's just a little bit easier to catch that move than it is to grab the short when it's SSR.
So sometimes getting out before the imbalances are not a great idea. I mean, for Apple, for example, we got out at 5:30, but that imbalance has created this thing crater all the way back down. So now breaking, I just want to bring it to everyone's attention, we just broke the low of the day on Apple as the market is still hovering around those lows, but this is the imbalance trade for you. We talked about Apple being on the imbalance rate. There it is as a sell. So you can see it's now moving to the downside. So that's not a great out, obviously, but we can't predict that. And then we do have a decent out, which I thought, well, now it's at 29 again. So we did get out of Pinterest as well at 29. Was giving this one a little bit more love on that name, but then it did not come back in. TTOO.
What's going on with Genius Brands?
Is Genius Brands finally starting to go upside?
How is this green almost?
What a recovery for TTOO, by the way, going right back into 40 cents again.
Yeah, holy crap.
And then all the way back up. So this is a 20-minute chart for T2. Came back into 40 cents that we've already seen before, bounced off that huge right back to 60 cents. That's what you're looking for, man. In these names that just are chaos, you are looking for some support, and it looks like there you go. We talked about a break of 60 this morning right here. It's actually on the sticky note, 60 cents. So once that broke, right there, it cratered down to 40, which was a monster trade, obviously, if you had that. But I think there's a lot of traders looking for long. So good dip buy opportunities there at 40. Just keep that in your pipe to smoke that next time, because if it does come in again, you will want to look at 40 cents there because it held this time. So those are some things that we always look for, things that are going to hold. I know Neil got out. It's at 28 bucks right now. My best fill was 27.50 on VFS, and I'm actually just there again a little bit lower, 27.30. Hopefully we can get a fill there on a flush at the end of the day. We have a very, very small part fill left. So it's really nothing on that, but we'd still like to win on it. Maybe we just put a bid at 28 or so, but who knows. With only 5 minutes now to go, yeah, the after show is ready to go, but today on earnings, there's Cisco and there's Stone. I don't...
Well, there's someone else in the morning. That's...
Oh, the morning, yeah.
Yeah, before the bell. I mean, well, obviously, you get to trade it in the open market. It'll be Walmart and Billy. But after the market, Cisco, I don't know, it doesn't really move anymore. Cisco has a bit of a... It's got a nice little place in my heart because it was one of the... when I went live for the first time, there was like 4 momentum tech names that we were all trading. Most of the trainees were trading at that time, and it was Cisco, AMAT, Oracle, and Microsoft. Like those were like the 4, and everybody was trading them when they went live in the first few days. So it's always interesting anytime I see those like legacy older companies, only one of them still... Actually, I shouldn't say that. Oracle's made a great rebound. I was about to tell you that Microsoft's the only one that's still great. And elite, I suppose, but Oracle has actually made a great comeback there. Cisco, I don't think it's going to be a big mover. I think we care more about Billy and Walmart for some obvious reasons. Those two could be pretty nice. And I don't know what that is, but that symbol up there looks pretty nice to the right before the open.
Before the open, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it is a nice symbol. Right there, I have no idea what company that is, of course.
It's a $200 stock. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, it's a nice stock.
I'm just going to look it up because I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I have no idea what it is either. Alibaba, let's just get out of this now. When we can, right now on Alibaba. So you can see it's starting to come in just a little bit. Yeah, join me after the close right now, immediately. In a couple minutes, we'll be talking about some of these trades today that we've had on. 89.24, I mean, here comes Alibaba back in. Let's just put a bid and see if we get a fill. There it is, it cranks through it. So that was a good one. Bring some registers on that right now. So pretty happy with everything as we go today. So there it is, man. We will finish the day at the highest spot we've been at with that Alibaba cash. And yeah, great day there. Spiders. Let's just go, man. Nice move in. We just got out of Alibaba. Where did Pinterest wind up? I think this could be a trade tomorrow. And I do want to talk probably on the closing show there a little bit about Hawaii Electric. As we've just got that bottom at 13.50, we could watch out for that coming later.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's catching bids down there. Good for them. A couple of things. I'm now out of Ford. There's like 2 minutes left in the day here. And Ford wicked down to the bottom, so I got out at 83. I'll probably revisit this trade underneath $12 again. And just because I looked it up, NYSE is a New York metropolitan area-based public global company with operations around the world. They specialize in contact center software, artificial intelligence, digital and workforce engagement. All I saw was an artificial intelligence. So we're going long NYSE tomorrow. When did they report? It was before the bell.
Before the bell.
So we sit down. They're going to be through the moon because they're going to say AI 47 times. And then I have no idea. It is a pretty decent sized company. It's apparently Israeli based, but in New York. So this is an ADR. It's actually an ADR. Nice. Maybe it moves, maybe it doesn't. I doubt it, but I just find it interesting. They got a fantastic kicker. And if I see AI in there, I'm like, well, maybe it moons tomorrow. I'm half joking. Sean's gonna make his way up to the desk, so we have a nice little smooth transition. But 1 minute to go, as we're talking about with those imbalances, J&J's gone, but Kenvue is now there. The reason why J&J keeps showing up on the imbalance is because there is some index action, the conversion that's happening between J&J and Kenvue shares. You can read up on it. If you're a shareholder, you should know all about it. But I didn't really see anything crazy on Kenvue. And now it's kind of starting to go, but that's not much of a move. 10 cents here on Kenvue when it popped up 1.3 million to buy. I'll just keep that one up. But the bigger story is not that popping to the upside. It's the market going to close on the lows. So we got two bears sitting on the desk, and the market's going to close at the low of the day. That is often a big sign of weakness. We're underneath big support. It has been a flush all day long, been favoring the shorts pretty much with the exception of U.S. Steel and Palantir, which were fantastic. Katrine's on the bell. She's got the 2 thumbs up. So let's take it off my mug and get it on Katrine so we can this time on time ring the bell, and that's my fault. Anytime we don't ring it on time, I'm the one that hits the key, so you can blame me. In 4, 3, 2, and ring it, Katrine. And the market is closed. It has been a wild one. It's been a fun one. I get it. We all want the market to go up, but sometimes the opportunities are to the downside. What in the VFS is going on here? This is why you get out. Obviously, we have to be flat at the end of the day, but it was probably a good out because VFS is at $33 because that's how it rolls. So I guess, Sean, you'll get a chance to talk about both HE and maybe VFS going to fresh highs. That's a little weird that it does, but we'll get out of here on what was a fantastic day of trading as the market is trending to the downside. Shout out to the midday guys doing a fantastic job. You saw Sharif. You saw not just Obi when he fills in, but Max has done a fantastic job. I think we're going to try and get Obi on every single time one of us is off. We're going to have a great trio for you to supplement the rest of the team. Brendan, as always, whether it's fake Brendan or real Brendan, he's kicking ass with the news. And at the ones and twos, great job as always. I mean, Fabian and Ramin have been doing a great job, not just social media, not just working the ones and twos, getting fun shots for you guys, having fun with everybody. We're going to get a mic on them at some point because I think a lot of times they're joking around with us and you guys missed out on it. So for the entire team, I'm Neil. You're about to see Sean with the close show. Go VFS again, I suppose.
All right, let's wrap things up here as we end the day essentially at the lows. NASDAQ 1.08 to the downside. The S&P 500 about 0.75 to the